Yeah,
You're
no.
dumb if you don't learn things yourself.
We're about to take it back.
Bitch, fuck all your politics, time to start solving shit. Time to start solving shit, time to start solving shit.
All right. So should we start it out taking a shot?
Yeah.
Just right off rip?
Yeah.
All right. Well, cheers to success.
And a good ass podcast.
Hey.
There you go.
Woo! Well, I love Crown.
It's good.
It immediately just takes that little edge off, you know?
Yeah.
So, you just started a class to teach people how to edit.
Yes, I did.
So, how did that come about?
Well, I started sharing my knowledge on YouTube. I've been documenting for shit over 10 years, but as far as doing teaching, like tutorials and things like that, I started doing those, I want to say like 3 years ago. And then, especially during COVID, they started doing very well to where I have different tutorials with like hundreds of thousands of views. And one has 500,000 views. And I didn't like offer anything or sell anything. And then also what I realized too was I'd get a lot of questions on those videos. And I would say in those videos, hey, I'm going to touch on everything. And for me to really go in depth and actually help you guys out, I would have to make this video 2 to 3 hours long. And, you know, this is YouTube, so it'll be a 10 to 20 minutes. I'm going to touch on everything. And if you guys want me to talk more, I'll make future videos. And yeah, I've never actually sat down and spent the 2 to 3 hours to go through in depth, step by step, every step of the way when it comes to shooting a music video, editing a music video. Now, this first course is specifically just editing. So what I did was I was actually editing a customer's video, and I was thinking like, okay, basically pretending that if God forbid I was in a hospital bed and I wasn't able to edit the videos myself, how could I like replace myself in the business? And with that thought, it was like, okay, when you get a job anywhere, usually there's training videos that you go through where you learn how to do something. If you get a job at Amazon, you're going to watch a video where everyone's like, hey, everyone, this is Billy. And at Amazon, this is step 1 of, I don't know, packaging an order or boxing an order or shipping. This is how we do it. And so at some point, someone sat down and did the hard work and they explained their process. And now it can be duplicated over and over again. So with me thinking of like growing and scaling the Cracka Lack Films business, I would love to hire music video editors. I know I've talked to you in the past about editing and stuff like that. Still gonna do it. It's just it's a process, and it's a exhausting, long process, but it's still gonna happen in due time. And then with editing, that is one of the first things that I want to like outsource and delegate is music video editors. So I just figured I could kill a bunch of birds with one stone if, one, I sit down and teach my process of editing music videos. Now it's there forever. That can be used to potentially hire someone to edit my videos. And then I don't have to sit down with them for 3 hours and teach them how to do it. Because hypothetically, right now, if I hired you to edit, if you wanted to, or anyone watching this, someone named John, and John sees that I posted, hey, I'm looking to hire a music video editor. John's interested, and he's like, hey, can you sit down next to me and teach me everything you know? Teach me your whole process. In my head, it would be like, fuck, man, now I got to sit down with him for 3 hours, and I'm investing that time. And then, cool, it's worth it if he works with me forever. But, you know, like, what if he only works with me for 2 months? And then now he quits. Now I got to replace him, and I got to sit down with another person for another 3 hours. Teach him, get him molded. Or I can sit down with a camera for 3 hours, do the work one time, and then if John quits, I know I don't have to sit down with the next person because I already sat down with the camera. So it's like I can use the trainings for hiring people to work for me, and at the same time I can sell the trainings to other people out there that are just looking, you know, to speed up their process and stuff.
See, when I first started doing videos, there was a channel called Think Media.
Yeah, Sean Cannell, Think Media. Just press record.
It taught me basically everything I know. I mean, at least it started the rabbit hole. Like it taught me about the lenses, it taught me about the lights, it taught me about, you know, everything. You know, even on that, like the only reason I can get away with doing this on the iPhone is because you can manually change the aperture and like all the stuff, so like you can make it really work in low light. You know what I mean? Like,
There you go. Look at
so
you now.
yeah, it changes everything, but like you have a style. It's like a brand to the way you edit. So I feel like it's a smart strategy to really, like, if you want to have somebody work with you, like when I edit videos, like I feel like it's very much my style.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
like I think that it's a really smart idea. So was Think Media one of the main ones that like inspired this, or was there like a bunch of channels?
It was. Well, I could tell you one of them was Adam Ivy. So he's a music marketing guy, but I met him in Orlando and we did a few collab videos. And, you know, he sits down and does like a YouTube video every week or so. But then I seen him get an award at ClickFunnels, and it's a 2 Comma Club award or whatever. It's like anyone that makes over $1 million, and the websites that they use to sell their educational products is ClickFunnels. And I seen him get an award. I'm like, damn, he made $1 million selling that? That's crazy. Like,
Yeah, I remember those videos. I tried to set some up like with websites, so it's like it's kind of like upselling at a restaurant, like how you get
funnel.
like the drink. Yeah,
Yeah. So he gets his award, and I'm like, bro, he made $1 million. That's crazy. Like, some of our videos at the time were getting like similar views, and I know for a fact, I know what my bank account looks like, and I am not making anywhere close to millions of dollars because I'm not selling my education. It's more so I'm just sitting down and giving it away for free. Like, this is how I don't know, here's 5 tips to do better slow motion in your music videos. Here's how you can shoot a music video with your phone. But what the smart, more advanced entrepreneur thinking people, which I'm in that stage now, are just starting that journey. What they're doing is they're doing the YouTube video. Even if it was like this, for example, it'd be like, here's 5 steps to being able to film your own podcast.
Yeah.
So it's like, yes, you are going to get a quick win from watching this YouTube video, and you'll know the 5 steps. But then, instead of just 10 minutes of teaching someone how to do it, they're going to be like, hey, now if you want to learn how to actually successfully establish your podcast, grow it online, and get into a position where you're actually monetizing it, click the link in the description and go through our entire course, a step-by-step thing.
Right.
And then when they're doing that, meeting and talking to some of these people and knowing that their backing is millions of dollars, I just felt like I was missing out on all that. So I don't believe in like the school system. I think it's all fucked up. And so I think the future is learning from the people doing it. So it's like the people become the educators.
It's kind of the Gary V philosophy, you know, because I mean, he's a big proponent of, I'll teach you everything I know because I know 95% of you won't do anything about it anyway. You'll just watch. And then the 5% that actually do something about it, you're going to benefit, you know, because there's a lot to gain. But that's really the truth of a lot of it, is like, even if you give everybody all of your knowledge and everything that you've ever done, like to really build their own company, most people still won't do shit, you know?
Yeah.
It's weird to me, you know. I've worked with people that like are in the same place today that they were 7-8 years ago, and it's like they just don't care. I don't know, it's a weird thing. So how do you target, like what are you looking for when you're reaching out to people to try to teach them? Like, because I know you already have employees. Like, what is like the thing that you're looking for?
With hiring people?
Yeah, or just in general, like if you were to even just give advice to somebody that's trying to do this, like what do you think is the thing that's like the most important for success? And
so yeah, I was talking to my wife about this. It's really just wanting to do it, because like me and my wife have been together for almost 7 years, and prior to me, she had never been into any type of self-improvement, self-development, self-help, just being better, just like majority of the world, they're just kind of existing.
yeah,
And maybe every year they get better by like 1% or something like that, because they're not focused on it. Where with me, it's like in every aspect, in every way of my life, I'm trying to improve every single day.
no, I see it. Like your videos in the last like couple years, especially with like some of these bigger artists that have like real budgets, because people don't understand how much that matters if you have a budget for your set and everything. But them videos are phenomenal, like for real.
Thank you, man.
Like genuinely.
Thank you. So it just, it all goes back to me. Just I want to be better, so I figure out how to be better. And a lot of people have limiting beliefs, so they may say something about like, I know I suck at marketing, but they hold on to it to where they're like, that's gonna be my excuse that I use a year from now at the local networking or the local barbershop or whatever. When people come up to me and they ask why haven't I still made it, I'm gonna just hold on to, oh, it's because I suck at marketing. Right. But with me, it's like you identify your weakness, marketing. So now become obsessed with marketing, and like a year from now, you should be basically have a master's degree in marketing because you realize that was the thing holding you back. So now you become obsessed with changing it, and that's what I've done. So I think that's the differentiating factor that everyone needs to have if they're trying to level up, is like just figure out what the fuck your weakness is.
A lot of people, they want to hit the lottery, but that's what it is though. You got to have like levels to it. Like if you want to do a podcast, you have to know how to film. You have to know about lighting. You have to know about editing. You need to know about engineering. Like you have to learn all of these things. It might take you a while to be able to actually like go to a final goal, but people think that they're just going to hit a lottery. Like they're just going to be a one-hit wonder. They're gonna come out with one podcast and it's just, or whatever they're trying to do. You know, if you're an athlete, you think that you're just gonna go to the NBA, but it doesn't always happen that way. Like if you don't have all the fundamentals, like, yeah, I think that's it's really important that you're doing that.
I prefer it because then I don't get worried about the competition, because I'm aware that like 99% of the competition, they're not gonna obsess about it like I am. They're not gonna fall asleep listening to videos to constantly learn. Like some people fall asleep listening to music or listening to rain. Like I fall asleep listening to podcasts, audio books, tutorials. Like that's the shit that I fall asleep listening to throughout the day. I'm reading books. So it's like, you're not gonna read more books than me. You're not gonna consume more high level people's information like I am, or applying it. And it's like all the different pieces of the puzzle. And I think people they overvalue the talent piece, because they'll feel like I'm talented, so like I don't have shit to worry about. It's like, bro, there's people that aren't talented that are gonna crush you because the other pieces to the puzzle.
You know how many talented people are on the corner or in a subway like playing the guitar with like people putting money in their hat that you see all the time on TikTok or YouTube Shorts or whatever, and they're never going to do anything besides that, even though they're good. But being good is literally just a small part of the equation. Like back in the day, everybody wanted to be a rock star. They all sounded like Pink Floyd or Led Zeppelin or AC/DC or whatever the genre was at that particular time. And some of them were really good, but they weren't original. You know what I mean? And they didn't have the mindset that actually pushes you towards the reason why Led Zeppelin became Led Zeppelin. You know what I mean? The reason why Dr. Dre became Dr. Dre. Like you will never be Mr. Beast. You know what I mean? Like Mr. Beast comes out and talks about this a lot in his pods. You know, it's like the next Mr. Beast is going to be completely different. You know what I mean? And that's the trick. Like you don't, like there's fundamentals, but like that doesn't mean everybody's going to be Barry Sanders if you're a running back just because you have fundamentals. You know what I mean? Like it. So what pods do you be watching?
I've never really listened to a full Joe Rogan one, but I listen to clips of Joe Rogan. But what is it, Dr. Andrew Hubbard or
Huberman?
Yep, I watch him. He's a genius.
Yeah, he is.
Him for sure. I listen to some Impulsive here and there. It kind of depends on the guests they have.
See, I'm obsessed with podcasts, like literally all day. Because when I'm not doing this, if I'm not doing like videos or something, the way I make most of my money is through like Uber Eats and DoorDash. So if I'm out doing that, like the whole time, I'm just listening to podcasts on a loop. For sure. You know what I mean? So
Impact Theory, that was another one too.
I haven't heard of that.
Tom Bilyeu, if you ever heard of like Quest Nutrition, like Quest protein bars or whatever, he's the founder of Quest. But really? Tom Bilyeu, he's got Impact Theory. Lewis Howe, he's got like, it's called Greatness.
Yeah, I've heard of him. So are you mainly about self-improvement podcasts? Do you like get into like a wider array? Do you watch like some like the more political stuff or the more news related stuff or anything like that?
No, I don't think I give any fucks about the news.
Yeah.
But it's more like self-improvement, or if it's a certain guest, like if Gary Vee's getting interviewed on anyone's podcast, I'll probably tune into that.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Gary. Because of his advice back in 2020, I learned how to make NFTs, but I never like actually officially released one. But like I had bought Ethereum to do it like a couple years ago. Like on Procreate is actually how I was doing it.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it's yeah, he's a pivotal. He's been a big part of, I don't know, maybe just motivating me to think that anything is possible, because I came from the gutter. Like I don't, I mean, I talked about it a little bit in the podcast before the last one with Elmo, with Derek Gilliam, but like my mom was a tweaker, you know what I mean, like far out. My dad has his issues too, although in the last few years he's kind of like fixed his act together, you know what I mean. But like, to me, like, people like that like showed me that you can truly do anything, even if the odds are stacked against you, you know, even if you gotta get roommates, even if you gotta, like, everybody stays at your girlfriend's parents' house for a few years and you just save money. Like, they showed me that ego is the biggest reason people don't make moves, you know what I mean, because you hold yourself back. You think there's any credibility to that?
Yeah, for sure. Like how you were talking about talented music artists playing their music on the corner, and when you said that, I was thinking the opposite of, like, there's so many talented music artists that now they have an ego because they think that talent is so valuable.
Yeah.
And they're not even willing to do all of the shit that they need to do because their ego is holding them back. So like they don't have the humility to go on the corner and rap for all these people and potentially go viral, or to hold up a sign that says we'll rap for money and then rap their new stuff. Like, that's the humility stuff, and their ego is too big, and that's like the main thing that's holding them back. Or even with like networking with other artists. Like, I see music art, I mean, you know, Facebook, local artists, and I see people that aren't in a career position to where they should be charging for features, but that ego gets out there and they're like, I'm too good, man. Features are $500 today. And it's like, bro, the market determines your price.
Right.
So right now I could say to anyone watching this, if you want a Cracka Lack Films music video, it's $100,000. Just because I say that doesn't mean that one person out there will ever pay that.
Right.
So the market's always going to determine the final price. You know, if no one pays it, well, then I'm going to say, all right, guys, I'm running a special music videos are $50,000 now. And if it's crickets again in the market, no one in the market buys a music video. Now I got to come down again and be like, all right, it's $10,000 for a music video. And then at that point, again, if no one buys it, then I come down, and eventually it's like $5,000. And now if I start seeing, okay, one person a month maybe can afford that. Now I have to think to myself, do I only want to shoot one music video a month, or do I want to shoot more than that? Okay, well, maybe I need to come down more. And so then you start being flexible. And like that, I don't know, that's like a random tip on how to find your pricing.
No, I mean, it's a good tip though. So like when Megan and I had first started doing Megan Renee Productions, at one point our pricing was so low that we probably could have done 5 videos a day.
I was about to say.
It's so overwhelming when you're trying to do that and you're just doing all the editing. And so then that's when you realize your price is too low. If you're like overwhelmed by what's happening, then you gotta adjust accordingly. But then on that same note, you raise too much. Like if you overcorrect, like if you're doing $200 videos and like you're just overwhelmed, so you're like, I'm just gonna start charging $1,000, and then you get nobody. You might want to meet in the middle. It might be like a $400 video. It might be a $500. You know what I mean? But
Yep.
Yeah, that it's good advice.
Yeah, thank you. And every year in my career, I was able to go up and up and up and up until last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say last year was the first year that I had a slow year, and I realized like 99% of people that hit me up, because it's probably like 2 to 3 people a day that inquire about a music video. So if you think about that, like 3 people a day would be about 1,000 people a year, and 2 people a day would be like 7. So like I said, like 850 people a year inquired about a music video, and I shot like 30.
Right.
So 820 people, it didn't make sense financially. But then the thing that I didn't realize was, it's one thing to have a music video lined up, say for $3,000, and someone inquires and they might have $1,000 in their hand, and you're just like, bro, I have Saturday available. This person's got $3,000, you got $1,000. I can't do it. I got to get the $3,000. I'm
Right.
booked. But if you don't have anything on the schedule and they got $1,000 in their pocket and you're like, oh, music videos are 3,000, and they're like, oh damn, you know, it don't, they walk away and then you leave that money on the table. So that's
I think it was Rick Ross was doing a podcast not that long ago, and he was talking about how once he first made it, one of the biggest lessons he had to learn was to stop leaving money on the table. You know what I mean? Even if that meant like he was taking some payment plans for some of these companies to
Yeah.
do like a brand endorsement or whatever. Like, because I mean, it's all money is good money. You know what I mean? So I do feel that I've definitely turned away clients before. Like once we kind of like got to that point where it was overwhelmed, where it's like I probably could have like maneuvered away where it's like maybe I can't do it right now, but like let's plan it for next month and like we can like where I don't have anything booked. And yeah, I mean it's good advice.
Yeah, it's hard too because then when you're super passionate and like trying to protect your brand, like how you mentioned the value in working with bigger artists that have bigger budgets, like that
Dude,
allows you
that's
to.
huge.
So about 2 or 3 years ago, that was when I first got in with and her name's Katie Noel, and so up until
That's the country singer, right?
country singer, she's from North Carolina, and at the time we were doing videos in Tennessee. So up until working with her, I was around $1,000 for about a year and a half. To where it's like, how much music videos? A music video start off at 1,000, and I was still doing a lot of videos, like 40 to 60 videos a year at that $1,000, and then doing all the other things because I have ADHD. So if all I did was videos, I'd be unhappy, and if all I did was studio, I'd be unhappy. And if all I did was make beats, I'd be unhappy. So I'm only happy if I shoot some music videos on the weekend. That's cool, but during the week, I still want to go to the studio, and I still want to make beats here and there, and I still want to film YouTube and film podcasts, and like, I'm happy if I can do all of the shit. So, I was still had a good balance at that $1,000-ish price range. Well, when I did her video, she was one of the first people that I worked with that she did a bigger budget. She probably spent like 5, 6, 7,000 on the video because I mean she rented out a horse riding stable for like an entire day. That cost some money. She rented out an entire like sports bar saloon type place for an entire day. She rented a barn, the costumes, the extras. It was like food and catering on set. Like it was. She spent some money, and then plus my fee, and then the travel and getting a place to stay. Like,
Right.
It was probably $5 or $6 that she spent on that video. And I remember right when it was posted, and granted, she got like 1 million views the first day too. So it was like my first bigger artist that I was working with. But all the comments were like, "Holy shit, bro, you leveled up like crazy on this." And really, my cinematography skills were the same as like my video that I had just did the day before.
Yeah.
So that wasn't a big difference. My editing skills were the same as the video I just did the day before too. The main difference was she's riding a fucking horse. I had never filmed a music video where someone's riding a horse. There's a barn and a saloon and the extras and the people, like all of that stuff that she spent money on is really what made it all come together. And so then I did another one with her and another one, and then it was like, yo, I'm getting used to it. Almost be like if you start getting used to eating like prime rib,
Right.
you're gonna be like, fuck Chili's or Applebee's steak. I don't eat that shit no more. I
Right.
eat prime rib. My stomach would get upset if I ate that
Right.
mess.
You need some filet mignon.
And so like with leveling up my brand, it was kind of just like, shit, man, what would it take every single time if I still wanted to pocket maybe $1,000 like I was before, but now I want to maybe get some help with planning the videos, because I was booking so many music videos that sitting down listening to songs and coming up with concepts and planning them, that was like my weakness. Because I feel like whenever you're a noob to something new, so like let's say you watching this right now and you wanted to get into music videos or planning music videos, you've never planned a music video before, so like sky's the limit. You got a wide open parking lot to enter, and you can have all these crazy ideas because you've never done one before. But I've done almost 500 music videos now. So for me to come up with like brand new shit that I haven't done like 50 times, and people are like,
see, I can relate to that, and I've done a fraction. Like, I mean, probably in the totality of all the videos I've worked on at this point, I would say 75 to 100 would be probably be fair. You know what I mean? And after about like 40, you start looking at like the ideas that the artists have, and it's just based on like monetary value. But like how much can I do in this parking lot?
Yeah,
You know, how
exactly.
much can I do on this track? You know what I mean? Or like at this like high school football field, or like whatever the case is. Like it's a little bit of a set, but it's not quite. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if you don't have the actors and everything else, then you're even more limited. Yeah, the more variety. Like I when I write treatments, I try to make it so like the video every 30 seconds feels like you're seeing at least something brand new.
That's good.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like something that's like introducing a new concept to the video.
I would
It's
say
got to be a story.
the wackest videos, you can see the entire music video in the first 30 seconds.
Yeah, 100%. And I was guilty of that at like my beginning stages. Like that, it's a hard thing to get past.
I seen a video the other day on Facebook, and I didn't even know who the artist was or I didn't know who the friend of mine on Facebook was, but I remember scrolling and I seen videos automatically play when you're on the computer, maybe on your phone, and it started playing automatically. And with me being someone that does music videos, when I see other videos, I think to myself like, where is this video at in comparison with me? And I think for whatever reason that way, where it's like,
No, I do the same thing.
if I were doing this video,
I do it with rap too.
could I have done this better than them, or what would I have done differently? What are things that I like about this video that I can think like a sponge and like absorb it and maybe apply it in one of my future videos and shit? So I seen this video, it came on, and I was just thinking quality's on point. Like they got nice equipment, good lighting, that was on point. The dude had good outfits and shit like that. They were in a nice location too, so I know they might have had an Airbnb or used Peer Space to get a spot. So I'm like, impressive. Now I'm like 15 seconds in, and then it was kind of like, oh, that's all they did.
Yeah.
So what they did was they had a piece of the puzzle, like, yo, we got a dope ass spot, we got dope lights, you got a dope outfit. Let's shoot the whole fucking 3-minute music video off of this. And I was like, oh no, man, if he would have just changed his clothes and then they went outside just to throw more variety and have a second scene with a second outfit, that could have took it to another level. And then if he maybe took his shirt off and had no shirt on, but then they did a close-up of his face or something just for like a third variety, or instead of having all red lights in that first scene, maybe they switch it to green lights, and now you got like another look because you got the red light set up, the green light set up, and then the outside something else. But
I think a pro tip to help avoid that for people that are really just starting is take the time to write a treatment, even if it's not like super professional, even if it's just bullet points where you're just saying like between 0 and 8 seconds it's going to be showing this, and then between 8 seconds, and like have a plan for the edit. Like if you shoot for the edit, it changes how the video turns out. You know what I mean? And if you can have a story, so like something that I've done also, you can have one location, like one solid performance location, and then have the B-roll tell a story.
Yeah.
And then like just keep cutting between the two, and that works. You know, make sure you're getting some closer shots and some wider shots. You know what I mean? Make sure that you're not using the same focal length. Don't shoot everything with one lens. That's really important too. You're better off using your phone than shooting everything with one lens, because the way that it distorts your face, if you're using a 50 millimeter lens and you're trying to get a wide shot, it's going to distort the way it looks. It's kind of like almost fisheye it, you know, like there's like, it's just things that you don't know until you do it though. You know what I mean?
But that's why I believe in like courses and shit like that. And this isn't just to plug my own course, but I shot my first video and I didn't have, the analogy I give is like making a cake. So I have no fucking skill set in making a cake. I'm relying on the instructions on the back of the box that someone else figured this shit out. Imagine me and you right now, we're trying to bake a cake,
Yeah, that
and
shit
it
would
wasn't
not
a
work.
store-bought box, and we had to just go in there and be like, how many eggs do you think we should use? Fuck, I don't know, 2 or 3?
Yeah, that shit would be bad.
We tried the first time and we used 3 eggs. How much flour? I have no fucking idea. Let's just pour this shit.
Yeah.
So we're going to fuck up a cake and then
Exactly.
try to learn like, way too much eggs. Let's try it again. Less eggs. And then we're going to fuck up maybe 10, 20 cakes until we one day figure it out. And it's like, or time is money. We just pay someone else that already figured it out and ask them how they bake a cake. And that's the luxury of looking at the back of the box that has the instructions.
Yeah.
So that's my approach with this course stuff is cool. I didn't spend any money going to college learning how to do music videos and stuff. I've made hundreds of thousands of dollars doing it. So that all seems cool and shit. But the problem was, if I had the information that I have today from doing the 400 something music videos for 13 years, if I had this information back when I was like 17, 18 years old, I'd be a monster at the age that I am now.
And you started before me, like, because I remember when I was in high school hearing about you doing your music and stuff back then. So, like, I can only imagine what it was like when you were trying to look stuff up on the internet compared to what it was like for me doing it in, I don't know, was it 2016, 2017, whatever that was? Like,
Yeah.
you know, so, like, that's a huge difference. You know what I mean? Like,
YouTube wasn't even a thing back then, because it was like 2004 for me when I first started doing this shit, or 2003 is when I first made a beat. And again,
No
I was
kidding.
explaining it to my wife, like, just assume that there's no
I was
Google,
8.
there's no YouTube. So we literally sat there clicking buttons to even like recording songs. I don't know what I clicked, but the red light's on, so everyone get ready. We got to record right now. Versus if we could have just spent $100 or something and paid some expert that sat down and was like, all right, step 1 is click file, go to this, and that's how you enable your record track. Oh, now I know it. Instead, we wasted 30, 40 hours sitting there clicking every button, not knowing
Yeah.
what the fuck we were doing.
Yeah, the first time I ever tried to record, I had bought this Logitech USB mic. It was like a little stick mic, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like it was
Yeah.
like probably $15
I was
at
say
the
10
time.
to $20.
And I had Audacity, and that was like the first program. And I remember like playing with the pitch of the voice and like all the stuff. And I was probably like at that time, like, I don't know, it was trying to think, probably 10, 11 at that time, so like 2005, 6, you know what I mean? And like, yeah, it was like such a different world. And I know like YouTube was around at that time, like it was like the sneezing panda era of,
Okay.
you know what I mean, like the very beginning of YouTube. So it might have even been 2008, like I might have been even a little bit older, you know what I mean? But yeah, I remember those days, and it wasn't like you were doing big shit at that time too. Like, I mean,
Thank you, man.
like for real, like I remember I think I was in like ninth grade geometry when I heard about you, like for the first time.
Do you
Like,
remember what you heard and where you heard it?
yeah, so I heard that this dude's cousin who I went to school with, Ryan Anderson,
Yeah.
I heard that his cousin had just did a remix of, oh, what was it? I think it was Rack City, maybe.
Okay.
It might have been like, you know what I mean? And yeah, I remember everybody just thinking it was dope as fuck. Like we were just like all shocked that like somebody from around here was doing shit like that. You know what I mean?
That's cool. That's cool. I think nowadays it's way more common. I'm sure like there's so many fucking 15 and 16-year-olds where it's like in their class there's like 30 people that rap or sing. But when I was in high school, there was like 3 of us out of a class of like 500 or 600. So
Yeah.
it was very rare, and nowadays it's more and more common.
Yeah, I remember when I had came out trying to rap. It was me and my boy Shammy, and yeah, it wasn't common back then. Like I remember people were clowning us for posting videos. Like it was like weird type. You know what I mean? Like it's just like why you know what I mean? Like some people would be down with it and they would like rap with us, but like it wasn't like a cool thing. Like even if we performed at the school talent show, like people weren't like they were just like this dude's trying to rap. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like but now like everybody wants to be a rapper. Like people that used to like clown me for wanting to rap or wanting to rap. You know what I mean? Like it's like
Yeah, and there's a cycle with support too. So it's like whenever the beginning stages of anyone trying to do something new, majority of like 80% of people are not gonna support, and they're gonna like make fun of you, and most people quit during that stage, right? So then
Yeah.
the next stage is like you don't fucking quit. You start getting some proof of concept. Proof of concept is like starting a podcast. All right, cool. Anyone can start a podcast. But then once you've done 5, 10, 15 episodes, you kind of proven that like, bitch, I'm doing a podcast. You see me doing a podcast. It's like, oh, okay. He didn't quit. There's still people that are on the fences. But then once you hit that 100 episodes, and now it's kind of like, it's
real.
it's real, then they start being like, yo, I always knew you could do a podcast thing. And so that's when they switch.
And it's kind of crazy like over the years how like reach on social media has changed from like being super organic to now you like really have to monetize for it. You know what I mean? And I remember like, and it's always kind of been the same to a degree where like when you first start out, unless you hit the lottery, when you first start out, it takes time for your channel to build. Like even like the biggest YouTubers will talk about how like their first like 6 months to a year and a half of doing YouTube, it was just, 700 views and up to 10,000 views, and they were just like fluctuating. And then like you hit this point, you know what I mean, where you figure out your content, the algorithm knows that you're consistent, it finds your audience, and then it pushes you. But people will give up during that too. Like they'll like get discouraged just because their thing isn't working. Where it's like, first of all, maybe your content just needs to change slightly. Second of all, have you given it time to find an audience? You know what I mean? Like people want to, and that goes back to ego. They don't want to look stupid. You know what I mean? Like they don't want to look like they're doing something wrong, but it's really not that.
I learned that the hard way also. So my YouTube channel as of today has 78,000 subscribers. That makes my ego feel good, right? I get to say, if I ever feel stupid and I'm selfie holding the camera and I'm talking to it and anyone's around like, what are you, some YouTuber? Ha ha ha.
Right.
It makes me excited because I get to say that big number to them for my ego. And they're like, oh, what's your channel name? Search Cracka Lack TV, and they're like, you have 78,000 subscribers? Yeah, little bitch.
Right.
That's what I want to
No, I feel that.
But ego, so what I've learned about YouTube was when I first started my channel, I was a rapper. So I just needed a place to upload my songs and my music videos. So when I first made my YouTube channel in like 2009, what is that, 14 years ago?
Yeah.
I was a rapper. So I uploaded my songs. And so I did that for 3-4 years. And then I had about 7,000 subscribers of people that enjoyed my music as like fans of my music. That's the Crack City, all those type of songs. Well, then I realized at 23, okay, rapping's not for me. I would make a CD, feel like I liked my shit, start working on some new shit, and then realize I actually hate my shit. So this new shit is way better than, it was like I reinvented myself every project, and I made a project every like 2 to 3 months. So fast forward from, I graduated at 17 and 2 days left of school, I dropped my first album. And from that day up until I was like 23 and found out I was going to have a kid, I released 16 full length albums. So in 6 years, I dropped 16 albums, and I was making the beats, recording, mixing the songs, and it wasn't like 4-song projects, it was like 18 songs, 28 songs, 35 songs, 21 songs, 24 songs. So I got lots of, like, your 10,000 hours. I definitely got 10, 20, 30,000 hours as far as engineering, beat making, videos, rapping. Got my reps in, and back to YouTube. So I realized the artist thing wasn't for me. I was driving myself crazy because eventually I had 16 albums and I didn't like any of them. And so anytime I would make a new song, within a month I knew that I would end up hating the song, think of 100 things I don't like about it, and want to re-record it. And I was driving myself crazy. So it was like perfectionist to a huge flaw, like fault. So I knew I was always good at beats though. So I always felt like if I was in the studio with Lil Wayne or 50 Cent or Eminem, some big people, and I was playing a song of me rapping, and this is why self-awareness is so important, because if it was me rapping, I'd constantly kind of be, is he nodding his head? What is the body language? What's the vibe of the room? Do they like it? Do they not like it? I'm not really sure. And I always felt that way with rapping. And then plus I hated the whole like, oh, you're a rapper? Let me hear something. It's like they expect you to just fucking like dance like a monkey right then and there or whatever. And I never was good at freestyling, and so I'd always feel retarded, and like I just knew music artists wasn't for me. I didn't really like that type of spotlight. But then when it came to making beats, because at this time I was still making beats for all these years, I knew I was really good at making beats, and I knew I was very confident in my beats. And like I would play beats for different artists that would come to my studio, and I would see their faces and see the body, and people start freestyling and shit. So I knew like definitely got something here, very confident in this. And if you make beats and run into someone and they're like, oh, you make beats, let me hear some, like you just fucking play the beat. It's not like you freestyle for them. So I was like, I really like this stuff. And then also with like engineering and shit, I I recorded, mixed, and mastered all 16 of my own full-length projects. And then I had a handful of customers at this time, and I was recording, mixing, and mastering all their stuff. So I was pretty confident in that. Find out I'm going to have a kid, and I was broke. So I'm like, I either get a job. I remember applying for a job when I was 23, so this is like 2012, at Office Max. And minimum wage at the time was like $7 something an hour.
Yeah. And
I think they were paying like $8.15. And I was thinking to myself, $8.15, 8-hour shifts, 8 times 8, 50 or 64. After tax, I'd probably get like $50. 5 days a week, 5 times $250 a week. What is that? $1,000 a month. And at this time, I was doing like $25 an hour for studio time. I just didn't have, it wasn't consistent enough to where, like, it'd be really consistent for like a week and a half, and I'd be like, fuck a job, I'm getting money. And then no one would hit me up for like a week.
Right.
And I'd be like, oh shit, man, I got to get a job. And then my phone would start ringing again. It was kind of always like that. And then, I really thought about it when I went in for an interview, basically got the job at Office Max. And then they were like, yeah, come back this day and we'll get you on the schedule and get you this, like all the final steps. And yeah, I was just doing the numbers and thinking like, or imagine if 8 hours a day, I didn't go work there, and instead I like promoted myself on Facebook, or maybe I can learn how to run ads and like try to promote myself, or just, if I spend 8 hours doing that shit and what I'm selling is $25 an hour studio time or $50 to $200 beats and stuff. And then at this time, music videos were like $200 or $300. I just thought like I'd make way more money. I could give myself a career. This is shit that I enjoy doing, and it's a million times better than the job in Office Max and that little pay. And yeah, I just went for it and figured out how to do some Google ads. And I had this at-home CD duplication company that I started. And I remember the first month it opened. So my daughter's 10, and she was born 2012, May 30th, 2012. On June 1st, I launched my website. So I had been doing CD duplication for myself for those 16 albums, and then, I don't know, 10 or 20 local artists in Lansing. But the only way to place an order back then was word of mouth. People found out that there's a local white dude, Cracka Lack, that is pressing people's CDs up. So whenever someone would finish up a mixtape, they'd hit me up, meet up with me, give me the cash, the CD, the artwork, and then I would sit there and, get their copies made. I launched, and I knew like there's a better way to do this, man. They could place the order from the website. That way I don't have to meet up with them. And then there's a way that they could maybe upload their files, so that way it's not like they're emailing me individually 20 songs and the artwork and having me design it. And so yeah, I worked on it for like damn near a year and finally launched the website. And I remember my first month, I got one random order, and I just remember thinking like, how the hell did this dude find me? It was someone from New York.
Really?
And they ordered 100 CDs. And
was that before you did the Google ad?
Before. So got the order, shipped it out, then just thought like, I gotta look more into this Google ads and stuff. And so I started watching videos all day, tutorials, like spending 2, 3, 4 hours a day just watching tutorials. Still didn't really know, because this is the only downfall with YouTube is you don't know what you don't know. So let's say like my hand represents what you know, or your awareness, okay? And let's say the top half of my hand is all the shit that you're aware of that you know. And then the bottom half represents the shit that you're aware of that you don't know. But then picture there's this big ass circle outside of this, and this is all the shit that you're oblivious to, that you don't know, that you need to know in order to do the thing.
No, I feel that.
Does that make sense?
No, I feel it.
So that was the thing, is like I'm just going to YouTube and searching like how to get more money from your online business. Like I didn't know to look up like what's the best campaign structure for running Google ads. I didn't know that until I spent thousands of dollars on Google ads and started, it's campaign structure. Let me look up that. Should I do maximum conversions or target CPA? If you're a noob, you don't know to look shit up like that. So that's why I think courses are invaluable, because they're going to teach you all that type of stuff. So
yeah, vocab is huge. I mean, in every industry, That's really one of the biggest things that'll set you apart. If you want to learn how to write music, but you don't know what C sharp means, like you're behind in like some aspect of it. You know what I mean? Like if you want to make movies, but you don't know what stage left means, you know what I mean? Then there's this terminology that really will put you through the rabbit hole. You know, like yeah, I feel like that's how I've like honestly think media is how I learned most of the terminology for all of this stuff, and that's the only reason that this was possible. You know what I mean? So like it's yeah, and there's nobody around here doing that. Like I remember Kaz for a while, he was talking about putting together a school for engineering, like actually having classes and stuff.
Right.
And this is like a digital version of that, which makes sense in the post-COVID era. You know what I mean?
Because then the beautiful thing is like World Wide Web. There's like God bless Kaz, and yes, you can't substitute that in person, face to face interaction, right? But let's say you said, I don't want to just impact a room full of people. I want to impact millions of people.
Right.
Well, how scalable is it for you to do a room full of 10 people at a time and talk to them for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hours? If you really are going to teach someone about recording, mixing, and mastering, you know,
Yeah, it'd have to be like real school.
It's like, boom, now you're going to dedicate your entire life to doing that. It's like, or there's got to be a smarter way.
Right.
You know, so it's like, yeah, maybe still teach it in person, but have cameras rolling and be mic'd up so that way you can film you teaching the room full of people, and maybe it's really expensive to get in the room with you, and then maybe have like let's say it's $500 for the in-person experience of in the studio with the engineer, and he's teaching you hands-on how to record, mix, and master. Like that's valuable. Let's say that's $497, or you can watch from home, and you can be in India, Africa, Canada, UK, in all over the world, and you can pay to be at home and watch the recordings of everything that happens, and maybe that's like $47, $97. So that's where you like kill two birds with one stone. And that's shit that I wanted to get into also, where I mean it's fucked up, but that's things that me and Kaz were talking about doing at the studio, is having these like events where I realized there's a lot of artists that come to the studio and they're talented and stuff, but I look at the studio, like my analogy would be like the recording studio is a gym, and the services that I provide as far as like getting beats or recording, mix and mastering, or getting videos, those are kind of like meal plans and workouts. And so instead of me being a producer, trainer, videographer, I'm like a personal trainer for them. So in order to actually get results in the gym, you got to have accountability. So that's like coming back, right? Because what would happen at the studio is, you know, let's say a session walks in, we have a great time, and then I'm like, yo, when are you coming back? And they're like, shit, I'm gonna hit you up, right? So imagine if it was the gym and this personal trainer just put you through this crazy ass leg workout.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh shit. And then he's like, yo, when you want to work out again? And you're like, shit, I'll hit you up. It's like, damn, you're not really gonna get results. Like, we need to get you on like you're in the studio every week for 3 hours. Let's get you locked in. Let's get you scheduled up. And so that structure and that type of stuff. So, and then part of like, let's say 70% of the results in the gym is knowing what to eat in your diet. Well, 70% of the results with music is knowing how to market yourself and create your own content and shit like that. So that's why I started this Cracka Lack music marketing channel, to where I'm like, all right, I can dedicate at least enough time out of my schedule to every single week show up for the music artists, and every single Monday they can count on me to give them at least one piece of the puzzle every week. It's like, all right. And it's easy for me to come up with the content because I'm in the studio with the artists and they ask me questions. So like one dude was like, yeah, man, I'm about to start this album. And I was like, no, don't start an album. Why would you start an album? And then we have this whole conversation, and then I'm like, okay, this really helped him. And he left the studio like, appreciate you. I'm going to turn the camera on and be like, hey guys, if you're a music artist, you're watching this and you're wondering, should you work on singles or an album? Here's your answer. Blah, blah, blah.
I mean, that's one of my biggest regrets. Like, looking back, I mean, honestly, since 2015, it would have been the smartest thing to, because that was the post mixtape era. That was the post Dat Piff era. But most of us just came up on that, so we just emulated what we knew. But really, singles have been the way. Everybody's just dropping one song. If that one song pops, then they might build a tape around it just for additional marketing. You know what I mean? But that's only because the song popped. So like, yeah, that's really good advice. Like, singles are the way right now. They're cheaper to market. You know, you can still get your artwork made. You can make each one an individual LLC to help with your taxes. It's like, it works.
The hard thing too is I sell music video services, and I'm aware of music videos. The value of music videos is plummeting too, because I'm friends with music artists that are multimillionaires today, and they did it in the last few years from releasing cell phone TikTok videos to their songs. So it's like, you drop a song, cool. Maybe spend some money on, like, you don't even have to go to a studio, and you don't even have to spend money going to a studio to get your shit recorded. Like, get a $100-ish mic is like bare minimum, and then get a $100-ish interface, like a Focusrite Scarlett type of thing. Some software, you could maybe go to YouTube and search free download blank software or whatever and try to find some free shit, or you pay I think I bought FL Studio for like $200 lifetime, and then I use that for making beats. But then I use like Audacity is free. I don't think I would recommend using that to like scale and like learn how to use. But Pro Tools is $30 a month or $28 a month or whatever.
You can get Mixcraft, which is it's a bootleg version of Pro Tools basically. It's free for 28 days and you can keep making new accounts. When I was like younger, that's how I did most of my recording. Like it's really so fucking similar to Pro Tools that it's insane. Like the fact that it's allowed to exist is insane. But it's free and you can get it on your computer.
Yeah, so like, buy the mic, one-time expense. Buy the interface, one-time expense. Get the software. Maybe keep renewing your shit. Get it for free, or just get Pro Tools and know that it's like $1 a day.
Yeah, it's
right?
not that bad.
Now you can record from the comfort of your own home and take 5 hours to record a song, 2 hours. Like, you're no longer on the clock. And remember, this is coming from someone that owns a recording studio. Like, I'm aware of all this shit, so I'm like, I don't know what the future is, but I know that. Shit, I gotta think of.
I was gonna make a joke like, you teaching this is gonna take all of our jobs, but I didn't, because it's like, it's inevitable. Like, everybody is learning how to do this on their own at this point. You know what I mean? So like, it does take that additional fact. Like, you can be a true, like, an educator in the field because you have the experience, like a decade plus at this point. You know what I mean? Like, you've been at this for a while, so it's like, yeah.
Just knowing that it's going to happen, but then also knowing that you still can't replace the studio experience. So when people are in the studio, there's the luxury of being able to walk in the studio and not having to worry about the computer at all. Not having to worry about, like, is my mic set good? Should I have redid that?
That's the reason I started going to studios, because it's like, you get to a point where like you want to just be the artist.
Yeah.
You know? And
so you're worth paying. So it's like, anyone watching this, like, yeah, you can learn how to cut your own hair and never spend $1 on a haircut again. It's like, or you could treat yourself and, like, for that 1 hour, be like, you know what, fuck it, it's worth.
It's the perfect analogy.
Paying for the haircut, and I'm gonna sit back and relax. It's like, I could learn how to do this shit myself or whatever, but I think that's
right. You could just take a straight razor and just get rid of it. You know, you can just go straight ball, go Breaking Bad every night. But
I think I was talking about music videos. So yeah, like, knowing that. I mean, I there was an artist out of Philly that I remember he spent $300 to $500 on a beat. That didn't go to me, but then he spent, I want to say like $150 to me for a few hours of mixing. So I mixed his song that he recorded somewhere else. So he spent studio time money getting it recorded, mixed there. Then he spent $2,500 on the music video. The video came out and it was great. 180 views. And like, still to this day, it's probably 200 views, maybe 300 views. Like, that's it, done. And he'd have been much better off not spending any of that money. Still made the song, so whatever he spent to make the song was worth it. But just recording like 20 to 30 different phone clips of different parts of the song, and, you know, lip syncing the song in public, in the middle of the street, walking through the woods, in a public place, or to a girl, or whatever. It's really just all about knowing how to captivate attention. And this is shit that I have to do myself. Or even you're going to see me get really creative with selling this music video course. I have some cool ads because it's like, here's two options. You tell me which one would get your attention more. Option one is, hey everyone, my name is Cracka Lack. I've been shooting music videos for over 13 years. I've shot over 400 music videos. And if you're looking to learn how to edit music videos from start to finish, I'm going to teach you my entire process. When I first sat down to edit my first music video, it's a true story. It took me over 40 hours to edit. My most recent music video took me 3 hours to edit. So there's some shit that I learned in that difference from 40 hours to 3 hours. And then also, if you've seen the video that looked what it looked like at 40 hours, it looked like shit. And then the video that I just did, that I did in 3 hours, looks way better. So there's power in that. I can teach people how to do that. So although that's cool and that's a good message, option two is, you know, picture me sitting at the computer and I'm dressed a certain way to get people's attention. Very abnormally dressed. And I'm searching how to edit a music video and I'm upset. I'm like, oh, I can't figure this shit out. And then boom, I pop. And it's me again, but I'm wearing something else. And I'm like, hey man, I can help you. I'm Cracka Lack. Then he's like, who the hell is Cracka Lack? And then I get to say the whole, I've been doing it for this many years. I've done this. I can help you. I promise. I've already helped millions of people on the internet. I can do screenshots of the YouTube videos with this, that, and other. And like, here, let me show you how. This is my entire process. I'll reveal my secret. And I like open up this bag and there's like this glowing light. And it's like, oh, like that would get people's attention way more. So It's like the same thing with a music artist releasing a song. It's like, you can be like, what's up? It's Cracka Lack. Check out my new song. Crown Royal out now.
Yeah, you gotta
boring.
You gotta be creative. You gotta make it pop.
And you gotta be like, Mom, I want to play you a song. Come listen to this. Boom, you see the mom cut. Let me see what it is, honey. And then you're like, listen to this and tell me what you think. And it's like you. And then at the top of the screen, it's like, playing my mom my brand new song. This is her reaction. People are going to watch that.
It's important because people don't realize how competitive the marketplace is now with especially these shorts. Like, it's so easy to just go to something else. Like, you got to make it worth me watching you. You know what I mean? Like, instantly, I got to want to watch. You got, like, 2 seconds or you know what I mean?
People mistake that they're competing because they think small-minded. So in their head, they're like, I'm competing with the other local artists in the city. It's like, no. They follow Kevin Hart, The Rock, Kim Kardashian, Kanye West. Like, you're competing with them. Like, you're fighting for their attention. They're scrolling. They do not give a fuck about whatever you have to say. Even if they're friends with you or your cousins with you, they're bored. They're picking up their phone and going to Instagram for entertainment. Yeah. So you got to either entertain them, educate them, or inspire them. And you're not doing any of that shit when you post your cover art.
Yeah. No, it's a fact. People don't realize it, though. So one of the big things that you can do to become more creative in the way that you advertise yourself and to get people's attention is to get your fundamentals. It's just like a sport. If you don't know how to to do a video like that, there's so many layers that has to be done right to make that actually execute. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it's like, I know like some people that are like literally just like they're from like some small town and they like just want to figure out how to do this, but like to them that's like listening to like fucking like Martin Scorsese, just like you just, you know, you gotta just get the right shot, you feel it, like, you know what I mean? But like so like there is fundamentals. It's just like a sport, you know what I mean? So like you really need to just practice the little shit. You know what I mean? So, like, I can, like, self-admit, like, one of the things that I struggle in the most is probably advertising. I was good at it up until 2019. I have, like, Facebook analytics and, like, Google ad analytics that I would, like, track and, like, really try to follow to, like maximize what my shit was doing. Mm-hmm. But I realized, like, at that time, I was more focused on marketing than actually, like, making the product worth marketing. You know what I mean? So then, like, I kind of fell off of that. And then, like, if you're willing to, like, admit those type of things and then, like, correct it, you start making content that's worth marketing. And then you can, like, you know, you got to get your layers right. You know what I mean? But, like, you've been at this for a while. So, like, the fact, like, you can, like, really just show people that whole package. It'd be better to learn from your friends' mistakes instead of going to jail and making the same mistake that they did. You know what I mean? Like, it's...
Alyssa, my wife, she asked me the other day. She was like... She just learned a lesson that I've been trying to teach her for 6 years. And she learned because my wife, she's beautiful. I love her, care a lot about her. She's very hard-headed. So I could tell her, she's the type of person, like I could tell anyone watching this, yo, when roads are icy, slow the fuck down, you might crash. Some people will be like, hey, I'm going to take your word for it. I'm going to slow down. Yeah. Dumb people, dumb people, labeled dumb people, they gotta experience it for themselves. Oh shit, it was icy and I hit a tree. Hey guys, when it roads are icy, I'm gonna slow down. And so I was trying to teach her a certain thing. She wouldn't listen. And then she has a younger brother. And he came over and she has the answers to his problems. She offered the answers, and it was just kind of like, and it was a book too, a book that literally helped her with anxiety, something she's been struggling with for like 26, 7 years. Read this book in a matter of like 4 hours, and it solved her problem. So she's like, hey, I know you got anxiety, you got depression, you probably hate reading. Yeah, fuck, I ain't reading a book. Please listen to me. Will you read this book? No, I'm not gonna read it. And then so she's digging deeper, like, all right, let me try to get some more. I promise you, I was the same way, and this, that, and then you're worrying about this, and he was just shooing her off, like, nah, boo boo, I ain't listening to you. And the way she felt, then it finally clicked, and she was like, oh my God, this is how he feels when he tries to talk to me. So what she said was like, I finally learned, like, I can't believe that I've been doing that to you for all these years. And she's like, you don't think that people have to experience it themselves to learn? And I said, dumb people do. And I was like, I'm not calling you dumb, but like that's how you would label someone. Like,
no, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
So like, I feel like it's might be politically incorrect to say it like that, but I feel like it.
We're Andrew Tating it out here, man. That's how you got to say it.
Yeah,
You're dumb if you don't learn things yourself. Are you
it's
an
a
idiot?
fact. It's a fact. Hold on, let me get some.
Men are
water.
smarter than women.
You want to go down this road? Let's do it. Let's go down this road. All right. No, I agree. Let's do it. I'm all for it. I'm all for this Andrew Tate talk to a degree. I guess first let's at least talk about the elephant in the room with Andrew Tate. What do you think about this sex trafficking allegation that he's going through?
I don't think he did it. I seen something get leaked, and it was like Andrew Tate's cousin or best friend who spends all the time with him speaks on the incident. He was just basically saying like, Andrew is way too smart and way too calculated to slip up. Like, and he makes too much money to do anything stupid or illegal. And
yeah. So for those that don't know, Andrew Tate has a webcam business that was a lot bigger back in the day. It's not even close to as big as it used to be. It's basically like OnlyFans before OnlyFans. Girls would go on the internet and talk to guys on their camera and strip and just do things that the dudes would request for money. And Andrew Tate came to these women and basically said, look, you're making $2,000 a month doing this by yourself. If you come with me, you'll make $10,000. I want to take half, so you'll make $5,000. You're still making $3,000 more, and we can all have a good time. And they agreed to it. So he's currently being charged with sex trafficking because these women like went to Romania to do this. And essentially they're trying to say that he has the lover boy method. So that means like he talks to these girls, he's like convinces them that he's gonna love them forever, and then tricks them into doing this, is what they're accusing. But they had 6 girls that supposedly were coming out. 2 of them have recently came out and said that they did not want to report this as like rape or sex trafficking because they completely volunteered and he was a good dude. And so their case is crumbling. So that said,
I didn't even know that.
Yeah,
I didn't know any of the details.
Yeah, I'm super up to date. So for a minute, when I was like kind of taking a break from music, I started this news channel on TikTok. I got banned, but like my shit was popping. I had like close to 100,000 followers. It was like really lit. You know what I mean? And basically, like I've always wanted to kind of get into being a journalist. So I was like going into stories like from all over the country. I was just diving deep and reporting on all of it. You know what I mean? And I got banned for covering some stuff about Black Lives Matter when like before people knew that they were stealing money and buying mansions. I was covering that it was happening, and I got banned for it. But then it turned out to be true. So, but I got perma-banned, so I just can't ever go back.
Damn. Well, I mean, this podcast in a way gives you that journalist.
Yeah, I can kind of
a little bit of that itch as far as talking about.
Yeah, Rogan inspired that a lot because it's like, you know, you can kind of still put those facts out there and You know, still make it about like what it is, and maybe a little less controversial because you're not just talking about. You know what I mean? But
Yeah, that's something that I just was realizing too, because I don't think I ever finished my fucking train of thought with YouTube where I was going with that. I started talking about my life story, but basically what I learned with YouTube after all these years is you shouldn't have segments in your audience. So how I said I had 7,000 subscribers that were fans of my music, and then I switched and started uploading my beats only, like literally the beats, like not even like a video of me making a beat, just straight up beat, 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 like a type beat channel.
right,
And I gained like 3,000 subscribers doing that for like 2 years. Then I started uploading videos of me making beats, vlogs of me, and like customer music videos, and I did that for a long time. That's when like we met and worked together and shit. Well, then the problem with that is if I post Bryan D music video and someone's a fan of Bryan D and they like this song and they subscribe, they're subscribing for more of that.
right,
Now I'm asking them to watch Cracka Lack in Florida. They're not going to watch it. And then I would get them to watch or ask them to watch Cracka Lack making a rap beat, trap beat. They don't give a fuck. Then I upload a different artist music video, and a different artist music video, it doesn't work. And so eventually you end up with a buttload of subscribers that are not engaged because they subscribe for a whole bunch of different shit.
right.
So with the ego thing, I'm starting from scratch.
Yeah,
I'm literally leaving that channel. I'm gonna probably change the name and call it like Cracka Lack Library. So it's just gonna be like a library of the last 10 years of videos, but I won't upload anymore. And now I started a new channel that was music marketing only, and every week it's nothing but like I'm talking to a music artist every single time. So it allows people to binge watch, and like that's the rules of social media. I was talking to someone. I said, right now, if you ask me to play a game with you, the first questions that anyone is going to ask is like, what are the rules? Okay, this is the rules. And then the next question is going to be like, how does someone win? This is how you win. So if you treat social media like a game, that's what you do and think, how do I win? Okay, what does YouTube want? They want someone to click on your video, watch the whole fucking thing, and then go watch another and another and another and another. So treat the algorithm like it's so dumb that it gets a check every single month, and you got to simplify it and make it as easy as possible for them.
yes,
So I think people for too long put the algorithm on this platform of like, yo, the algorithm is crazy. It's so intricate. It's so smart. It knows everything about everything. It's like, no. It made sense for me when I treated the algorithm like it was very slow. Like it had to get caught out in the hallway and have its test read to it because
Right.
it was so slow. So when you think of it like that, it's like, oh, okay. The algorithm doesn't know that in this video I'm making a beat, in this video I'm shooting a video, and in this video it's a customer music video, and in this video I'm talking to rap. It don't know any of that shit. It's just like, I don't know what the fuck's going on here. So make a channel where all you do is make beats. So now it knows anyone that watches this is interested in making beats, and never upload anything other than making beats there.
yep,
Now,
100%.
now make a channel where you're doing podcasts like this. Never upload nothing else.
Yep.
Like if you're like, shit, I got 10,000 subscribers, I'm gonna start dropping my music videos on my podcast channel. No, that's how you ruin your shit.
Yep, you don't do that. And then also, when you want to start doing clips, make a separate channel for the clips. You don't put the clips on the same podcast channel. You know what I mean? You literally make it like Talking with Bryan D Clips. That's like the name of the channel, and you let that be. You know what I mean? So, yeah, no, it's super important.
What were we talking about right before that?
We're talking about Andrew Tate. So
Andrew Tate.
let's go into this because I agree, and I think that there's actually some real important shit that needs to be said about this, because there's a lot of misconceptions about toxic masculinity in the current climate, and this real incentivization to make men not want to be men. I think that it's one of the biggest tragedies that's actually happened to our country. It's the reason why so many girls out there are feeling like they can't find any good dudes is because y'all have convinced them that they're not allowed to be themselves. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of truth to it. But also, I think one of the things you said is that men are smarter than women. Like, there was a real Andrew Tate comment. Let's dive into it. Let's get controversial.
I'll just say that a handful of my friends in the last month are all struggling with the same issue. And so it's not intelligence. I'll say men are more ambitious than women. And that doesn't mean that there's not and a woman out there that's ambitious.
Right.
But I would just say if you take a room full of 100 men and a room full of 100 women, and then let them just go about life for a year, and then you follow up a year later, the men were more ambitious than the women, and so there's gonna be a bunch of fucking losers in the men group that didn't do shit, zero ambition. Then there's gonna be a bunch of women too, didn't do shit, zero ambition. But yeah, it's just like
So like yeah, no, so I'll expand on that a little bit. Basically, women have a different biological inclination than what men do, just based on simple facts that they are the ones that are going to carry and bear children. So for large chunks of the year, in an ideal scenario, women are basically pregnant and then pregnant again right away. And like back in like old times, that's why people had so many kids, because it was just nonstop. So women weren't out there trying to build shit. They weren't going out to war because that was the only way we could ensure the tribe survived. We could have 400 people in a tribe, right? Let's say it's pretty close 50-50, about 200 men, 200 women. And then there's a war. The men go and fight. 50 men come back. There's still 200 women. All 50 of those men can get all 200 of those women pregnant. And then they can reproduce and make their population sustain. You know what I mean? So this is also why there's more of an inclination for men that are sought after by women to have sex with more women. It doesn't mean that it always happens, but the reason why you would hear about Drake potentially cheating on his girl and having a secret kid is because there's so many options, and men have this built-in nature where I got to keep the tribe alive. Like, it's just what it is. Same way that they are not as inclined to go out and build something great, because their greatness is life. And I feel like there's nothing wrong with that.
I just figured out the answer to the shit that I said in my head too. The reason why men are more ambitious than women. And then I could also say that I think women are more loyal than men. That doesn't mean that there's cheating ass bitches out there. That doesn't mean that there's whatever. But it's because men want to be respected and women want to be loved. And so in order for a man that wants to be respected, that's where ambition comes in, because he wants to be respected. And then usually why most women are more loyal is because they want love.
I think that traditionally that's true, but
like I said, there's examples of fucking both.
I think that we're in a culture right now where modern feminism has incentivized women to basically get revenge on men for what they feel they have been forced to endure through the patriarchy, as they would put it. And I actually would love to have, like, I'm sure there's going to be women that have opinions about this. I can do a fucking Fresh and Fit style panel. We can have a bunch of girls come in here and we can debate this shit if you guys want to. That's totally fine with me. I'm open for conversations. But women have been convinced that their body count doesn't matter.
No, there's a double standard. I'll for sure agree with that. And I agree with the double standard. Like, women should not have sex with as many men as a man. Like, if a girl has sex with 10 guys, I think that's equal to a guy having sex with like 30 to 50 girls.
I agree with that. I completely agree with that.
And the
because
reason
it's so much easier for them to have sex.
Yeah.
Like, there's no effort in it. So for a man to be able to cheat, they have to be at a certain place in the world where even if they don't have money, they have to meet certain look standards. If they don't, then they're meeting other economic standards or social standards, or they're able to just make you laugh in a way. But all of these things are learned skills. All right, so they've done studies on Tinder and other dating apps, and men swipe like on 90% of women.
Yeah.
And like, we pretty much, unless you're like a really rare exception, you're really like a fat fuck, you know what I mean? I'm like, I don't care, fuck you, that's what it is. We ain't attracted to these fat bitches like that. It's just facts. And so other than rare exceptions, men always swipe that they like it, but women only do it 10% of the time. They literally find 90% of men non-attractive. So for a dude to be able to cheat, he's in like a top 10% of guys already. Like, it's just what it is. So you're already dealing with a small minority of dudes. So if you're getting cheated on, that means you have some dude in the friend zone that you might want to give a chance. I'm just saying. Just saying. We're going to get canceled for this. I don't care. It's facts. You know what I mean, though?
Yeah, because also it's like when me and my wife, we were talking about this, and I was like, if you go to a bar on a Friday or Saturday, like literally every dude's end goal for tonight is to fuck a girl, right?
Yeah.
Where yeah, there's some girls there and their end goal is to get fucked, but most of them is like to meet a nice guy or to meet a guy or maybe meet a dude they're gonna date or something like that. But like, and so they have higher standards where the dude standards are low. They're just like, I want to fuck something tonight.
Yeah. And pretty much, unless there's some, like, you're, like, on my 300-pound life, like, we're probably gonna fuck. You know what I mean? Like, unless you're, like, there's very few bitches that, like, a dude genuinely in, like, some circumstance wouldn't fuck. And that can be an ego boost for ladies because it just is what it is. But you also have to know that that's why, like, you can literally have sex with anybody. You could go into 7-Eleven and just raise your hand and be like, who wants to fuck me?
Yep.
And somebody will. I promise you. Even one of the girls probably. Like, somebody will want to fuck you. But if a dude does that, he's going to get arrested. Like, that's not going to go down well.
Yeah, it's more rare. Men are the hunters and women are like the prey.
Yeah.
That's just how we're wired.
And look, more power to them. Definitely. Because the reason that y'all are only attracted to 10% of the people is because y'all are selecting the best mate for your offspring. You don't want to have some fucking bum's kid. Even if, like, they're not economic, you want them to be strong. You want them, like, there's something. Like, you know what I mean? That's why you're attracted to them. But that's very few dudes. That's why actually throughout history, and I'm going to get the statistic a little wrong, but it was like, I think 45% of dudes have not reproduced throughout history. So most bloodlines come to an end, like, constantly. Because this is how it is. It's wild.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, but bitches are always reproducing. Like, most girls have a kid. Like, that's just like, at some point in their life, they have a kid. And it's true. I mean, you know how many girls I went to school with that have had kids, like, before they were 25?
A lot.
Yeah. Most girls have a kid. How many dudes do you know, though? It's like a handful that have, like, a couple baby mamas. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But the rest of them, they're still not. It's kind of wild. But yeah, bitches ain't shit. How'd you first find out about Andrew Tate?
My behind the scenes cameraman Malik. He's a big Andrew Tate fan. He used to be in his Hustlers University, the $50 a month thing. Yeah, and he was telling me about he's the one that told me about Fresh and Fit too. So I found Fresh and Fit, Andrew Tate.
They stole most of that stuff from Patrice O'Neal. I just want to say that.
Okay.
And then
I don't know what that is. I've heard of the name.
He's a comedian from the 90s, early 2000s. You hear him speaking a lot of truth on, like, Opie and Anthony, and he had, like, you can just, like, he has, like, these call-ins, but, like, he basically was the originator of the Red Pill movement. But yeah, I agree with a lot of it. You know, some of it's just funny, and, like, it's just, like, you know what I mean? Like, some of it's, like, funny as fuck, but there's so much truth to all of it. And if people were to understand their roles in society, things would be operating so much better. Like, for all you ladies that are like, I wish I didn't have to work because my man can't make enough money, you realize that if women didn't work, then dudes would get paid double because there would be half the job, so they would have to give them the money would be differentiated to the men. You wouldn't have to work. This is why you guys didn't have to work before you had to work. And, like, you guys made this problem. So, like, there's just so many things about, like, the Red Pill movement that I agree with. I guess, I don't know. How deep do you want to go into that?
What are you smoking there? What is this?
This is,
Indica or sativa?
I think it might be a hybrid. I think it's the original glue. It's pretty good. You want to try it?
No, thank you. But I think that's what I used to smoke was hybrid.
Yeah.
Shit.
It's like that perfect balance. Don't fall asleep, but I don't get too, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I like it. I'm gonna, like, wait to be on like vacation or something like that, like reward myself with it, because I love that shit. It's great. I used to treat it like, maybe when you're younger and you brush your teeth and there's like I don't know what it's called, but the hourglass or some shit, and you flip it upside down, then the sand starts going to the bottom, like the timer is running out. I used to treat it like that, like when I would hit a joint, hit the pen, hit the blunt, whatever, take flight, I'd be like, oh, flip my hourglass over, like, all right, everyone leave me the fuck alone, give me a pad of paper, and then all of a sudden I just have all these ideas and shit. I think it worked well. It seemed like it worked well with my personality type being very I have a bad habit of like overthinking stuff, but it's also like my skill set to where if someone has an idea about a business, let's say you're like, cousin got a tractor, it can mow a lawn in this much time, U-turn, blah, 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 we want to start a business. You could come to me and I could think of like, all right, well then this, and then this, and then this, but then you're going to run into this thing. And when you run into this thing, the reason how you could solve it is if you did this. So here's your business model. And I could come up with it really fast. And so sometimes just for fun, I would like get high and come up with an entire business strategy for like an entire business that was just the idea of like one of my cousins mentioned he wanted to start a podcast. And he was like, how come there's not a place that I can go to where I just want to show up, sit down. I see a bunch of people moving around, lights are coming on, cameras, and then they're like 3, 2, 1, go. And I get to talk. And then the next thing I know, it's on Spotify, it's on YouTube, it's everywhere. Like, that's what I want. I don't want to have to buy a camera, learn how to use it, learn how to mic. Why doesn't that exist? I was like, that's a great business model. So high as fuck one night, and I'm like, okay, so if the camera would cost this much, okay, so up front you got about $5,000 to $6,000, and that you're getting the top of the top equipment, 4 mics, 4 headphones, 4 these little mic arms. Yeah. Then I came up with the whole like, all right, well, if you got a switcher. So they make these switchers where you can plug, like if you had 3 cameras, you could plug 3 cameras into the switcher and there's 4 buttons on it. And let's say the person sitting there recording, they can press button 1 and it's camera 1, boom, and it's recording live. And then let's say now I'm talking, they want to go camera 2, now it's my shot. You start talking, they press camera 3, it goes to you. So they're editing it live.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, that would solve a problem, because I started a podcast in 2020. Did 11 episodes, and then it used to take me 4 to 5 hours editing them afterwards. Where sometimes you want it split screen where you could see both people. Sometimes you want it just close up, and then so you definitely need 3 angles. Yeah. Each person talking and plus both people.
See, I make 3 angles work, but I do it with that. But I have like a trick with the crop up, so I don't distort the image and shit. You know what I mean? Like that's one of the big things that people fuck up when they do that. Is to like, they'll pixelate their images from it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know. That was a cool thing about smoking. That shit during the day, that would...
Yeah, that's a dope business idea. I actually just found this out, but there is a place in Holt that is like a podcast. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? And you can pay by the hour for like their shit, but it's kind of expensive. And I mean, even if I would have known about it before I like set this up, I still feel like this is a more comfortable environment, because I don't know if I could smoke in there, if we could drink in there. Like,
probably not.
I don't know how wild you could get. You know what I mean? Like, I would like love to have an episode where like, I don't know, like some wild shit. Like how I was saying, like girls come in here and debate. I'd like to do an episode with a crackhead. I think that would be fucking awesome. Get their life story. Like somebody that's like really cracked out. I think that'd be great. I'd have to have people in here for protection, some straps out, like make sure everything's straight, you know what I mean? But I think that would be like good entertainment, you know what I mean?
You could always get the wireless mics, and then that could be kind of your TikTok content to get it. So that way you don't have to bring them in your own home and shit, but like you could just be driving around like, okay, there's a dude over there. Here, let me go over there and start talking to him and ask if it's cool if we film. And it's just kind of like just interviewing them. Like, what's your name? Where are you from? Are you from?
I think it would be interesting because they have a story. Everybody has a story. I thought the same shit,
but then I was too worried about, like, don't worry about the wrong shit. But I was worried about, like, oh, no, then people are going to be like, get the cameras out of their face. How would you like it if you're homeless and cameras came up to you? And I was like, honestly, I've never been homeless, so I don't know what it would be like.
I was
But
homeless, so I feel like I can do it. I was homeless in 20 or when I was 18 years old for a few months. I was like couch surfing between friends. Is the only reason a couple nights I even slept in the fucking park in the fucking slide.
damn,
So I've been homeless, and I can tell you what, I feel like it'd be funny. You know what I mean? Like
I
it'd be funny because you don't know what's gonna happen, and that's what people want. They want that edginess. It'd be like Jackass, you know what I mean? So like it'd be like real life. It's gonna like it's intense, and it'll make you uncomfortable, but that's what we need. You know what I mean?
I would try to monetize it. I would be like, give me $100 and yeah, you can interview me, or like shit, take me get something to eat, and then after I eat, yeah, you can interview me all you want.
Have you ever seen a soft white underbelly?
Mm-mm.
Should look it up. So this is a dude who interviews people on Skid Row, and he interviews pimps, crackheads, like prostitutes, like everything, like everybody that's around there. And they're like short interviews, but he has them come to his little studio that he has over there, and they're pretty dope. But I feel like they're so tame. You know what I mean? Like I feel like for whatever reason they hold back a little bit of like who they are when they're not in there. Do you know what I mean? Like even though I feel like they tell the truth about who they are when they talk. Like I feel like it's like when you have to go somewhere professional and you like the way that you kind of like change the way you act a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to actually do an interview with somebody while they're truly themselves.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that, I feel like it would make a big difference.
Yeah, I think you would just probably have to capture it right there. That's why I was thinking like the wireless mics and.
It's a good idea. Set up like a lav mic. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a really good idea.
What other questions do you have? What would you want to talk about?
Well, I feel like we should do another shot. I feel like we've been going for a minute, so if you want to do a couple,
yeah.
let's do it.
What do you use to edit?
Final Cut.
Nice.
The right one. What do you be using?
Vegas Pro.
Vegas Pro.
Have you ever used it?
I have.
Okay. It's a software that a lot of people start out on, and then they eventually switch to like Final Cut Pro or Premiere Pro. But for me, it's always served what I needed it for, and I've never really had the desire to do After Effects or crazy.
Yeah, Vegas Pro is the first editing software I ever heard of. It's yeah, I only went to Final Cut because I heard that one of the episodes of Game of Thrones was edited with it.
Yeah.
So I was like, damn, that's pretty legit. And I just wanted to be different. I always like kind of want to like, I always know everybody uses Adobe. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I was like, I just wanted to go that other path.
Yeah, what I recommend for people today though is Adobe, just because since it is the most popular software, if you ever get stuck, it's gonna have the most tutorials out there and helpful shit.
That's a fact. And I've applied to be an editor for YouTubers, and I've been turned down because I don't use Adobe. So like they're like, no, you could do it, but your shit isn't compatible. Like the way that it transfers through all their systems, you know what I mean? Because they use Adobe everything. Like for
When I first hired someone to help edit my YouTube videos, he was using Adobe, and at the time I had edited everything I've ever done, so it was like no one can edit it like me. But then I realized like, oh, okay, I hit a limit, and like now I'm the one that's like bottlenecking everything, holding it up. Like even right now I have 30 something videos inside this course that need to be edited. I have 10 videos for the Cracka Lack show channel that I'm launching. So like picture, instead of just like a vlog channel, it being the best of the best. So kind of like, so me and Kaz made beats together one night, and it was a few months ago. historical and it's all on camera. We're hanging out, we're talking. That would go on like the Cracka Lack show. But I was gonna title it something about like making a beat with my hometown rival, and it was gonna be me and his faces, almost like we're boxing or battling or something like that. And then now with what happened, I think I'm gonna name it like making a beat with a music producer legend, or making a beat with a legend, or something like that.
Like
or
making a beat with a hometown idol.
Making a beat with my hometown idol.
Yeah,
Something like that. But that,
like
see,
that has a
we
ring to it.
should talk with brainstorming stuff, because I struggle with, like, again, I've done over 600 YouTube videos, so I need help with like the titling and stuff. And that's so important that, like, I uploaded a video yesterday on my music marketing channel, and I hate the thumbnail.
Yeah.
And I was talking to my wife, like,
I love making thumbnails.
I said, yo, I suck at thumbnails and I suck at titles. And when I say suck, I mean I'm better than 95% of people in the world, but I'm aware that it requires more thought, and there's other things that are a higher priority on my list that I need to move on to. And so I look at it like, it's good. Like, I even uploaded a video on my new Mastering Music Videos channel, and before it was called how to film a music video at night. And so I named it like 3 beginner tips for filming music videos at night. And then I was like, oh, should it be at night or should it be in low light? I could search and see what
Low light.
Yeah.
Low light.
See, and I need to fucking change that shit.
Yeah.
Like YouTube Manager.
Every time that most of the time when I'm looking up lenses, I'm looking up low light. Yeah, it's
Done.
Yeah.
That's a given. That's shit I need to change. But yeah, man, like with me having what is about to be 6 YouTube channels, titles with videos, I need help. Thumbnails with videos, I need help. And I'm trying to. So people like Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, like, they've already built the thing. So all their life consists of is like, is there an easier way we can do this? Is there a more efficient way? So their life revolves around efficiency. And so with me, I'm like, okay, the only way that I'm going to be able to run 6 successful YouTube channels, I got to have efficiency in place. Like, okay. So one thing I noticed with like Think Media, Graham Stephan, Mr. Beast, a lot of big YouTubers, I made like a hit list for these thumbnail headshots. And I noticed it's all like the same. Like Graham Stephan, do you ever watch him? He does like fighting and shit. So it's like, he's got one where he's like this. He's got one where he's like this. He's got one where he's like this.
Yeah.
And then he's got one where he's like this, right? But if you scroll through all of his YouTube videos, you keep seeing these same like 3 to 4 things pop up over and over and over again. You go to Think Media and you see Sean Cannell, and he's doing one that's like this, right? Or he's doing one like this, smiling. And I was like, yo, okay, so I struggle.
They feel cohesive for their channel. Like, the way they do it is all unique but slightly the same, but all feels cohesive for the channel.
So what I used to have to do is like, okay, I made a YouTube video. Now I got to do a mini photo shoot, right? And take a picture for the YouTube video, then sit down and edit it. And it was like this 3-hour process. And I was like, no, there's got to be a better way. Here, I'll get a haircut. And then the day I get a haircut, I'll just put on a white t-shirt, a black t-shirt, and maybe a hoodie. And I'll make a list of like the 50 facial expressions that I would possibly use on thumbnails. And I sat there in front of my camera and I went through and did all 50 facial expressions.
I mean, that works.
And now I have a folder there where it's like white t-shirt, thumbnail faces. Boom, there's like 30 pictures. They're already edited and everything. All you got to do is just click a button to remove the background. So just to make the process easier. So
yeah, I mean, that's actually a really good idea. Usually when I make a thumbnail, I'll be able to take a still frame from the video that works, but like with a real facial expression. And like if there's nothing that works, then I'll like try to do something additional. But like in every thumbnail I've made, like because of the way that you can cut it out, if you have like a good enough camera quality, like it's crisp. You know what I mean? So like, yeah, because I feel like the most natural reactions really work the best, because we're like at this like transition in YouTube right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, I feel like it's like, I don't know.
Because you could do both with the podcast. So even with this, like option one that's proven to work on YouTube is you find, when you're editing it, you're scrolling through and waiting for you to do one. The least clickable one would be just like you looking at me looking at you. It's like boring, right? But you would look for one where you're like this or laughing or some sort of emotion.
And it depends on what you wanted to pick for the video.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it does make a difference. But like for like the podcast, like I try to take a moment where like I catch like you in a laugh, like I catch you in like a good smile, and like while you're looking this way, and then like it's like it creates like a cohesive vibe for like the thumbnails.
Yeah.
But like I don't know, like there is a trick to being able to like color coordinate for the vibe that you want to have, and like I don't know, it's kind of like graphic design a little bit, you know what I mean? Like it's
because the other option that I see work all the time is eye contact with the camera. So it'd be like, all right, we get done with this episode, and then you're like, here, before you get up, will you just look at the camera and then give me like 5 different facial expressions? One might be a smile, one might be a laugh, one might be a whatever, but you have these 5 different facial expressions, and they can all be in the video, and then all you're doing is like screenshotting it, and then you would do the same thing for you too today. So now on the thumbnail, it's kind of like your face on left or right side, my face on left side, and then maybe in the middle it's like Cracka Lack, or maybe it's just our faces there, but then in the title you put Cracka Lack at the end or something like that. That's what I've seen usually work.
Yeah, it's and it really like depend, like so like for like a short, like if I take like a 10-minute segment from this video to like highlight a specific part, like when you're talking about like building a company, you know what I mean, and like the process of like picking the like all the stuff, like if I take like a 10-minute segment, that thumbnail is going to be drastically different than the thumbnail I use for like the whole podcast, or for like, you know what I mean? So like context like makes a huge difference if you're trying to, and then like knowing what colors to use really makes a difference too. So like if you want to like have like the way Mr. Beast will like take like he'll have like a shot that he'll kind of blur out in the background, but he'll like have a very particular one for like whatever kind of vibe he's having. Like if it's like if it's a car giveaway or if it's an island giveaway, it changes drastically the colors and everything, but like it's always like a vibe that Mr. Beast has.
Yeah, that's important too.
You know what I mean? So like
I don't know. Pick 2 colors for this, and then you rock with those every single time.
Yeah, I've been. Have you seen the thumbnails for these? Yeah, I could probably pull it up just to see. Yeah, because I have like a cohesive like thing that I try to do for it. So like, they're all pretty much like this.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So like I'll put it onto the screen what we're looking at.
But what's good with branding is, let's say 6 months from now, you're like, you know what, I want to change it up. If I was you, I would take the time and go back and change all of the past ones.
Yeah.
Because what you want is, you just want to make it as easy for your viewers as possible to recognize, oh, this is a Bryan D podcast.
Right.
You know, and so my wife, she recently stopped smoking, and she said that she's more present in conversations now, right? And because I've been begging for her help for 6 years with a lot of stuff, and it's simple shit that doesn't require. So it might be like if I have 3 different options for a thumbnail, and I'm like, damn, I don't know which one. But let's say I'm leaning towards one, and it's just getting the other person's opinion. Like, yo, out of these 3, which one would you pick? And let's say I was leaning towards this one, and she's like, yeah, I like that one. I'm like, all right, sweet. I was thinking that one anyways, we're good. But if she was like, I'm thinking this one, I'm like, okay, what about that one do you like more? Because I didn't pick that one. And
trying to get in depth. No, I feel that.
But I had her go through my current YouTube channel, the big one that I'm not going to use anymore. And yeah, she was like, it's just all over the place. And I was like, what do you mean? And she was like the titles, the topics, the thumbnails, like everything is completely different from one video to the next, right? And so then she went to my 2 brand new channels. One is a podcast where it's just myself, and I sit down and like throughout the day, I might read. I just learn new shit every day, and I like to share it I learn and share. I learn and share, and that's like my process. And it's beneficial all the way around because one, it helps me selfishly because I just learned something. And if I have to explain it to someone else, if I can't teach it and explain it, that means I don't fully understand it. So I like the I don't know, the thrill or prop.
It's funny because I say that literally all the fucking time. Like,
Yeah.
Because it's fast.
Then it helps the people around you because you're constantly giving them value.
Yeah.
You know, so I was like, okay.
And I be annoying people with that shit.
Yeah.
I really
You're like, hey,
do.
did you know that if you actually wake up 2 hours earlier a day, it gives you an extra this much and blah, blah, blah. And that's why you should have a consistent nighttime routine. Like,
Right,
what the
what
fuck?
do you know about heat shock protein?
Yeah. So me making that podcast was like my outlet for like, all right, shit, I'm going to just sit down and talk to a camera for 10 minutes about whatever new thing that I just learned today or whatever. And I would batch film those. But I applied what I learned about YouTube from my 10 plus years on my other channel. So every thumbnail is me on the right, certain facial expression, same color background, like dark gray, and then a few 2 to 3 words, same text, everything, same title structure, and it's very easy to get it as the viewer. Then my music marketing one, I chose yellow as the color, and so every thumbnail is like yellow background, picture of me, something on the left. Yellow background, picture of me, something on the left. You
See,
know?
I like that though because it's like the school bus. It's like you're learning something. So it's
Ooh,
like,
yeah.
You know?
That's why I picked yellow is because I had the thought of like school bus.
Yeah.
No.
No, but I mean, it makes sense, and that's actually, I mean, even if you really didn't instinct, like that's a correlation that I make immediately if I see that. So then, like, it helps me remember, like, this is what I want to go to if I want to learn something, you know. So like, yeah, I mean, color is like imperative, you know what I mean? Like, it really is. Like,
Yeah, how you chose to set that color of that font, I would rinse and repeat over and over and over again.
yep, every single time.
Yeah.
Yep, and then yeah, learning graphic design to a small degree will help you with everything. Like even if you want to learn how to make a good cover, like one of those covers on your Facebook or whatever, if you want to be able to design your own.
Oh,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? Like if you can do a little graphic design and know how to move it around yourself, you can make a big difference.
For
My
sure.
cat is going crazy over there.
How long has this one been now?
Honestly, I'm not sure. What time is it? Half blind.
9:11,
9/11. We started at like what 7
7:20, 7:25.
Yeah, I feel like it's pretty solid. I feel like we covered a lot of shit.
For sure. For sure. Yeah. What is the name of your podcast?
It's talking with Bryan D.
Talking
Yeah.
with Bryan D.
Yeah, I'm just talking with Bryan D.
Sweet. Have you made TikTok or Instagram for it yet?
So I've been making shorts for it, but I've been watching a lot of different channels that give advice about like new podcasts, and they recommend that because shorts bring so many people to your channel. Make sure you have at least 5 to 10 podcasts before you start like doing that. Otherwise, like people will come and be disappointed. You know what I mean? So like they want to have content to like listen to. So I have a whole bunch of like little clips that I'm like stocking up, and then after like the 5th or 6th podcast, I'm gonna start like releasing them so
Yeah.
that way people can come and find content. But,
There you go.
yeah, I'm perma-banned from TikTok, so I'm gonna have to like talk my brother into making a TikTok for me or something so I can like post.
What does
clips on there.
permaban mean?
Like because on there I was doing news, and I had posted about Teresa Coulaire stealing money from the Black Lives Matter donations and like buying mansions and all this stuff before it was like super talked about, and I got banned for it because they were like
On TikTok or Twitter?
on TikTok.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so they banned me for it. So like now if I want to do that, I'm gonna have to get somebody to like make a TikTok for me or I'm gonna have to buy a new phone. You know what I mean? Because I'm just like IP banned. But
Damn.
yeah, they don't like news stuff. I've learned that the hard way. It's kind of wild. I've had like issues on my Facebook for it too. Like I would like post some news stories, and then like I would get like banned for crazy stuff. Like just like CNN or Fox could talk about it, but I can't.
Yeah.
Like weird shit. You know what I mean? Like I don't know, but Yeah, it once I can post it on there, I'm sure that'll like really go viral because TikTok is it's wild.
Yeah, well, I just yesterday was my 14-day free trial ran up, and so today I signed up. So it's $25 a month. It's this site called repurpose.io. And so what you'll do then is literally, and what's nice too is as long as you have a business account on TikTok, well, you could say fuck TikTok then, but Facebook Reels, YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, and Facebook allows you to schedule, YouTube allows you to schedule, and Instagram, I don't think lets you schedule Reels. I don't know. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. But you like create your account, and then you'll link like all of your other accounts. So like I linked my YouTube, my TikTok, my Instagram, my Facebook. And so what I have it set up now is all I have to do is post to, I think it's YouTube. As long as I post to YouTube, it's going to automatically take the short and put it on TikTok, automatically take the short, put it on Instagram Reels, automatically take it and put it on Facebook Reels. And then if you wanted to customize anything, you can go to settings in that YouTube to TikTok or YouTube to Instagram and change the settings. And let's say if you wanted to add a certain set of hashtags, if you wanted, or I'm keeping it as simple as possible to where for me, I'm doing it for my podcast and I'm doing it for, so like with this one, if it was like Cracka Lack talks, blah, 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 right? And that was just the name of it. Keep it simple. Like that'll be the name of the Facebook Reel, Instagram Reel, TikTok, and YouTube Short. Now you're done. You don't have to get all like, whoa, I want to use these 7 hashtags on TikTok, but then these 20 hashtags on Instagram. And then it's just like, no, just fucking name it what it is. A friend of mine, his name is Ryan McGinn, but he runs all the short form social media for the biggest people in the world. So it's like Grant Cardone, Ryan Pineda, not Gary Vee, but the certain style where you see the text on the screen and shit. Like he's the guy behind that. He runs like 30 of the most influential people on Earth's short form. And
that's lit.
That's what he does. He takes the same video and puts it everywhere. So that's exactly what I'm set up to do. It just makes it easier.
I mean, that's a good idea. So do you use Rumble?
No, I've heard of it. That's where Andrew Tate is now, right?
Yeah, well, I've been on it for 9 months now or something like that, and it's set up so that way, like when I posted something on YouTube, it would automatically go on Rumble.
Oh, sweet.
So it's like it's kind of the same thing, but like I didn't know there was something that was like a central that like
bro,
because that's clutch.
That's a game changer.
Yeah, because that's so much time to sit there and individually upload, and like shit literally takes forever.
Yep. So yeah, repurpose.io.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna use that.
Yeah, $25 a month is less than $1 a day, and so I think that's worth it for me to just set it up one time, and then now I know, because that's even what I'm gonna do is, I'm obsessed with like systems, because thinking in terms of like being efficient. So, when I started my podcast again, it was like, bro, I'm already busy. I don't have time. All these damn YouTube channels. I wouldn't make no money off a podcast. You know, it's like in the beginning stage, you just got to build it up until it's something. And then now you start thinking of ways to monetize it or get a sponsor, or, you know, there's
have direct donations,
a hat right here that they're paying for it, or a hoodie, t-shirt, whatever, bottle on the thing, or we're drinking fucking Prime and we're sponsored by Prime or whatever. But, it was like, I'm not making money. How can I get the best use of my time and be as efficient as possible? And I thought, okay, every Sunday at some point, my wife leaves. My daughter's mom lives 2 hours away. And so, yeah, they have to like meet up. So she's gone for 2 hours. And I was like, yo, if I sat down and throughout the week, so I batch do everything. So instead of like having to post every day, it's like, no, I do my shit. Like I'll batch. Someone gave me a compliment the other day. They were like, yo, it's like you're always fresh. Like you always have a fresh cut. And I was like, well, I get a haircut. And then that day I film like fucking 10 to 15, 20 different YouTube videos. The content you're going to see for the next month or two. And every day throughout the week, I'm in sweatpants and a hoodie. And I start looking homeless and shit. Like I don't film during that. That's when I'm like editing or posting.
Nope, you know, I feel that.
Doing those little stages. But yeah, my podcast strategy was, throughout the week, as I have ideas, like, oh, that'd be a good episode, and I'll just put it in my phone. Oh, that's a cool idea. Or I just learned this shit. I posted this little status on Facebook. That got good engagement. Maybe I should make a YouTube video talking more about it for 10 minutes or so. Put that in my phone. So by the time I sit down, I should have a good 3, 5, 10, 15, 20 different ideas of potential podcast shit. So I sit down, and then again, that's when I'm clean and freshly shaved, haircut, whatever, and I have a few outfits, and then I'll sit down, turn the camera on, hit record, go through the whole episode. It might take 10 to 15 minutes. Hit stop, and I'll take the memory card, put it in my computer, and drag it over. And then that might take 10 or 15 minutes to drag the footage over because I have a slow-ass card. And then right when it gets done, boom, maybe it takes 5 minutes. Put the card back in. And then now that I have the footage on there, I make proxies since I'm filming in like 4K and it can slow and cause your computer to lag and shit. So to make a proxy, sometimes it takes 10 minutes, 15 minutes, depending on how long your clip is. So I make a proxy file so it'll be ready for me to edit it. But while it's making the proxy file and I'm waiting 10 or 15 minutes, I'm looking at the camera and I'm filming episode number 2.
Right.
And now I film for 10, 15 minutes, get done, same thing, take the card out, put it in there, drag the footage over. And by the time I'm done filming that episode, the proxy just got done making. So it's ready for me to edit. Now I'm taking episode 2, put it in there, dragging it over. Right when it gets done, I start making proxies. It's going to take 10 to 15 minutes. Put the shit back in the camera, change my shirt, put a hat on, put glasses on, something. Now I'm filming episode number 3.
Right.
And I'll sit there and do 3 to 5 episodes in one sitting. And then I'll think of like, okay, what course videos do I need to film? And it, you know, the outfits I was just wearing was on one channel. So this is a whole different channel. So I could actually reuse these same outfits, but be filming for a different audience. And then I'll film that stuff for a few hours. And then I go to the recording studio, what I was doing. And then I would film 2 to 3 videos for the music marketing channel. So it's kind of like in one day, I did about, like, let's say I want to drop 1 video every week on this channel. That's 4 videos a month. Well, in one day, I filmed my month of content for that channel. And I went to the studio and I filmed, you know, sometimes 2 videos, sometimes 3 or 4 videos. So I aim for like 4 videos, 4 videos, 4 videos. So now I have like 3 channels, 1 video every week, and I filmed it all in one fucking day.
See, that's wild. 16 videos a day.
Yeah. Well, in one day.
In one day.
So now
Not
I'm
every
set
day.
for like 4 channels, a video every week, and I did it all in one day. And then this is where like editors would come into place to where it's like, okay. And so right now I do have a dude editing that is in the Philippines, and I made a job on Upwork. If you heard of Upwork or whatever, because
No, but is it like Fiverr?
Fiverr's popular. The problem with Fiverr is like it's overwhelming to not know like how they're gonna edit your shit. And then I even did a Upwork job posting in the past too, and it's like, yo, I'm looking for. This is when I started my podcast in 2020, and I knew, all right, I'll edit the podcast, but I want to pay someone else to like take my podcast and like clip it up, add the subtitles on the screen. You know, like I want to do one podcast, send it off, and then have an editor give me like 5 to 10 clips from it with subtitles and everything. And then I can post it all. So I made like a job post on Upwork saying, hey, I'm looking for an editor. It's podcast. This is what I need done. Well, the problem with it was I got 150 to 200 people like, I'll do it. And all these people, but then you don't know, like all you see is a smiling face. And then it says that they have editing skills, smiling face,
Right.
editing skills. I'm like, fuck, I don't know the difference between any of these. So a friend of mine, he did this for me. And without even asking too, it was cool. Basically, I was like venting on social media, and I'm like, I just finished editing this video. It took me 5.5 hours. I'm going to be hiring a YouTube video editor. This shit took way too long. I want what my responsibility to be is like, I can't replace myself with the person being on camera talking and sharing my knowledge. I can replace whoever's editing the video. I can replace who's posting the video. I can replace who's myself from whoever's doing the thumbnail.
Right.
So I'm like, sweet, man. Like, that's what I should be doing is get to a point financially to where I can reinvest and be like, hey, I could make 2 videos a week maybe if I had people editing these and posting these and doing the thumbnails. Like, let's be more efficient, you know, with the process.
I mean, people don't understand how time consuming it can be, like genuinely.
So what he did for the Upwork thing was he was like, send me your next music marketing video. So boom, I sent him the video. It was just one long clip that was like 15 minutes long, that if it would be edited up, it'd probably be like 8. I repeat myself, I stutter, I sit there and I kind of go blank for a few minutes and be like, okay, what could I say after that? So, all right, so, okay, so, all right, so if you're a music artist, blah, 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 like, I'll do that. So it's easy. Just cut that fucking shit out, right? So send him the next video, long 15-minute clip. And what he did was he trimmed it down to 1 minute. So it's just kind of like the first 1 minute of the clip. And he made a job post as like, looking for a YouTube video editor. The videos will be 5 to 10 minutes long. And then he included an example of the episode before that I edited, that I took like 5 hours editing. And he was like, this is the style he's looking for. And here's a 1 minute clip of his next video. And if you're interested in applying, oh, and then he even put the pay too. It was low, but I'm aware of like the US dollar value in other countries. So it was like $35 is the budget. And yeah, here's to apply. Download this 1 minute clip, edit it, and then submit it to this email. And we're going to pick someone. So there was 33 people that applied. Of the 33 that said they're interested, 11 of them actually edited and submitted a video. 6 of them were awful. And then there was 3 that were like pretty good. There's some fucked up shit. Like they didn't get my sense of humor. Like they had some random like stock footage, stupid shit in the wrong spots.
Really?
But there was 2 people that were like sweet. And I was like, damn, like these are good enough to where like that's ready to go on YouTube. Holy shit. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to hire this one dude. So shout out to Carlo in the Philippines. He's my music marketing guy. And so I just have it in my head to where, all right, $35 for a video every week. I'll give him a $5 tip. So that's $40. So it's $160 a month for me to have the 4 YouTube videos edited. But now
That's not bad.
Yeah, now I need my podcast episodes edited too. And so that's another 4 videos a month. But then I have this mastering music videos where it's like music video tutorial shit. And that I would have to pay more money because there's a lot of more shit going on. Those 2 channels are easier because it's just sit down talking heads. So it's like, yo, cut out all of my fuck ups, beep out any swear words, add background music, and I'll give you the background music to add. And then just add some B-roll, add some zoom in, zoom outs, crop in here and there, add the text on the screen. And at the end, add like the subscribe little pop-up thing with the green screen thing that shows clicking the thumbs up and stuff. And
Right.
yeah, do it. And bro, it went crazy.
Yeah, I've seen people on Fiverr that'll advertise for $5
$5,
videos.
dude.
And
Yeah.
like, goddamn, like,
That's why it's so like my behind the scene guy, Malik, who lives in America. So he's used to like the cost of living here and he films my vlogs. Well, how we've done it for years is he'll film everything. Then it's like, here's the memory card. So now I have to sit down and spend 3, 5, 6, 8, 10 hours sometimes, depending on how much footage it is, and editing the shit, plus editing the customer's video to the shit that I just did. And so I was telling him like, this ain't working out. And then also I realized he wasn't growing as a videographer because he wasn't editing anything. So I think the only way to actually get better at filming is editing, because if someone was here filming this whole shit, besides like the tripod or whatever, and then they have to sit down and edit it, when they edit it, that's when they would realize like, oh shit, I was shaky as hell when I was trying to film that slow motion thing.
yeah.
This looks like shit. Okay, I got to be more smooth the next time I film it. And then let's say their exposure wasn't set properly and it was like way too dark. And they're like, damn, I'm trying to sit here and brighten this clip. Now it looks fucked up. Like I fucked up when I filmed this. It was too dark. But they wouldn't know that if they weren't sitting there editing it.
I mean, that's true.
So
That's a really good point.
yeah, I was like, he wasn't growing filming wise, and it was because he wasn't editing things. So then he was trying to edit. But I was telling him like, look, you live in America. Like, I can't give you $20 to edit this video for 8 hours. Like, it doesn't work out. And I'm not in a position where I can afford to pay $200 to get a YouTube video edited. Like, for me, it's worth like $50 at the most for the YouTube video. So maybe I can help you come up with a efficient way to go about doing it faster and make it easier for you, so that way you can do it faster, because time is money. And a little random side note is that I'm against paying anyone hourly, because if you pay someone hourly, you're hurting them if they're good at what they do. So like I want to incentivize, like, the video is worth $50 to me. I don't care if it takes you 30 minutes or 6 hours. Like, if you get good and you get faster, sweet, you made more money an hour, versus being like, oh, I'll hire a video editor for $15 an hour. It's like, no, I'll just pay you per what it's worth to me.
That's I've actually seen a few videos where they talk about marketing and employment and stuff, and that's like really important when you're doing this industry. Like, do not try to, like, if you're out here trying to do graphic design or doing video work or editing and you're trying to charge by the hour, you got the whole game fucked up.
Yeah,
because I've seen people like they'll try to, like, well, it might take me a long time to edit it if it's, you know, like, no, like, you gotta have like different things. Like, there's a difference between like a one take video and like a regular music video. You know what I mean? I'm not saying like there can't be difference in prices, but like, you can't, like, I don't know, people will try to milk it like, well, if I do a one take video but it takes us longer because you keep messing up, then I'm gonna charge you this. Or if I, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I remember there was a website guy, and what did he say? He was like, just give me this much an hour to make your website. And I was like, I don't know how to make a website. Is it going to take you 5 hours? Or is it going to take you 500 hours? He was like, I don't know. It just depends. I was like, no, I'm not doing that. Like, I have a budget of $500. Like, can you make the website that I need? I need it to do this, and this. As long as you can make it do that and it looks good, like what I want, $500. I don't care if it takes you 30 minutes or 30 hours. And so I learned that. And then I learned the hard way with a bookkeeper. She was $35 an hour. And I hadn't did my QuickBooks for like a year and a half during like COVID. And so when I finally started doing it again, there was like thousands of transactions that like needed to be reconciled and put in a, what was it? What was this? What was this? And I was like, I have no idea what this shit is.
Yeah, I feel that.
So she, like, yeah, it was $35 an hour. I paid almost $1,500, and my books were still all fucked up. And I was like, no, I went about this wrong. I should have just said, hey, I'll give you $300 to fix my books. Period. I don't, like, can you fix my books and get them all back to even and caught up for $300? No. Okay. What about 400? What about 500? All right. Sweet. You're not just going to keep milking me $35 an hour, and it's been fucking 100 hours or however many hours it's been, and I still don't know when it's going to be done. So that was a lesson that taught me that. And then also I thought, with the bookkeeper, I want to get an email every Sunday that just shows you made this much money from studio, this much money from videos, this much money from CD duplication, this much money here where you're just kind of like a summary. I want a summary every week, and that's worth $50 to me. I don't care if you can fucking click a button to auto email a summary from QuickBooks every week, and it just takes you 30 seconds. Or if it takes you 5 hours to do it. Like, for me, it's worth $50. I'll pay $50 a week to make sure that I get a summary of my shit. Yeah.
I mean, I feel you, because, I mean, right now I technically have 4 streams, and, like, just in, like, all of it I have to do my taxes with, you know what I mean? And if you aren't staying up on it quarterly, that shit'll get fucked. Like,
I'm not. I'm fucked right now.
Yeah, no, I feel you.
Yeah. So if you're out there and you're like, shit, I don't have my stuff together. I don't either, and it'll be all right. Just
yeah, it's not that big of a deal. There's a lot of things you can do. I say get an accountant, and they'll talk you through it. Yeah, I used to do collections on behalf of the state of Michigan for taxes.
No shit.
Yeah, so like it's not, you'll get through it. I promise, it's not that deep.
What was that beep?
I have no idea.
Was it the video camera?
Yeah, let me just make sure it's still running.
It might have hit stop.
No, it's still going. Might have just been a Facebook message, maybe.
Oh.
High and type drunk. So I wanted to talk to you about the fucking fitness shit. How much do you think that plays a role in what you do and how efficient you are being able to do 14 videos in one day? And
I think it a lot, bro, because one of the most depressed times I've ever been in my entire life was after I had shoulder surgery, and so I was just in a sling, and I was basically like kind of walking around the house, sitting in a chair though for 6 weeks, and then even after, it's like you're doing rehab for almost 6 months, and I've always lifted heavy weights from when I was, like 12, 13. I remember I bought, because I heard that it would start your growth if you lifted weights and shit. So I had saved up my money and bought a Total Gym, like Chuck Norris Total Gym and shit. So when I was like 12, I had a Total Gym. Got into doing that. And I remember I was chubby fat. And so that was around that time too. I found out that at the end of like 7th grade, you go swimming. And it was like Hope Middle School.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, I found out that you swim at the end of the year, and so I'm like shirt off, swimming in front of girls.
So
I had the fucking
ready.
cellulite like a motherfucker from midsection, and by the end of the year I had a 6-pack, and it was just like I didn't really know what I was doing, but I just was eating less food and doing these like little home workouts. I wish I was doing push-ups back then, but it was like core shit. Basically, that was all I did. Like I didn't know that you can't like pinpoint stuff for like a girl. Like, oh, I want to lose fat in my back of my arms, so they think that like I'll just do a bunch of like exercise. It's like, no, you gotta reduce your overall body fat.
Right, you're gonna have to run. You have to get everything.
Yeah, it's everything. It's not just like, oh, do a bunch of like crunches and now you lose the fat in your stomach. No, you lose the fat in your body. And it might target that stomach fat first, or it might target that stomach fat last, but you got to reduce your body fat, period. But yeah, so from lifting weights, I never had mental health issues. Like I just didn't, I don't know if it was not having the stress that I have now, or if it was just the fact that I was lifting such heavy weights, because I ended up hurting my shoulder. I used to like bench press competitions when I was like 15, 16, 17 and shit. And like, that's not the best for your shoulder. And then if you don't have great form, which I probably didn't have good form, and that's what led to me hurting my shoulder. So I had shoulder surgery. And since I had shoulder surgery, it was like I could never lift heavy weights again. So it's like, even if I did a weight that I'm like, okay, I can do this 20 times. But if the second I start going to heavier weights, even if I was doing it 10 times, 12 times, 15 times, it's like if I go over a certain weight, so for me, it's like on a dumbbell bench press, if I do any weight over 60 pounds, my shoulder will hurt for weeks. And
really,
it doesn't matter it's not like from being weak. Like I can do them 15, 20 times. So you would think,
so you
do heavier
like
weights.
Push-ups? Is that how you're like?
I just stay below those weights, so I'm kind of like maintain.
But you already had the prior physique, so like.
Yeah.
See, I was always real fat, and then I got skinny, but I've never really been in shape. You feel me? So I did play football at one point, you know what I mean? But like I was fat, so like I was a lineman. I played D tackle and right guard on offense. So like I was like this real little fat dude. Like my only advantage is I could always be lower than you because I was shorter than you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, I like in the last couple years, really because of COVID, I started like trying to get in better shape. You know what I mean? Like when I first started, I couldn't do a push up, and like now, like I could do like 30 like easy. You know what I mean?
That's awesome.
Maybe up to 50 if it was like on a really good day. If I hadn't worked out the day before, like I could probably crank it. But like, my big thing is diet. I always be fucking up my diet. You know what I mean? Because like being a prior fat guy, I'm like addicted to. Like every once in a while, I just gotta go get a shake. You know what I mean? Like I just got that inner fat guy in me. So like, what do you be eating? What's your?
I eat like 80% clean pretty much every day. So I'll what's crazy is it's cheap too. Like when you do it at home. So we buy this 6-pound huge big bag of rice. But before doing this, because I got a rice cooker for Christmas last year, and so that's how I use that. But before doing that, they make those it's like Uncle John's bags of rice to where you can just microwave them for a minute.
Yep, I'd be making rice like that.
Yeah, so it's like you buy one of those, and those are like $2, and then you buy like a 6 pounds of chicken, and usually that's like $1.99 a pound, so it's like $12. And then you just cook the whole tray of chicken, and then I have a little food scale, and I weigh out like 5 ounces of chicken, and I get like scissors, and I just cut it into little pieces, and then I take half of one of those rice bags. So I'll get these little food container like meal prep shit, and I just take one of those bags of rice, and I put half in a container, half in the other, half in a container, half in the other, and then put like 5 ounces of chicken in each. And then I'll get like a bag of microwave broccoli where you put it in the microwave for 3, 4, 5 minutes. Mm-hmm. Microwave that, and then just dump, that one bag of broccoli that's like $1 will probably be like split into 3 containers. Or I'll get green beans, and then I just put a bunch of little Mrs. Dash seasonings on there. Sometimes I'll put barbecue in some. Sometimes I'll put like hot sauce in some. And sometimes I'll put, I don't know, like fat-free Thousand Island dressing in some. So usually it's like I have a protein shake every day, 2 of those meals. For breakfast every day, I make 3 whole eggs. In just that, like no toast, no other shit. And then I have some sort of like sausage or whatever that I cut up, or bacon and put in it. And then probably at nighttime, it's like bad habit of eating chips. Like I might eat like half a box of Cheez-Its or some shit like that, or chips or something. So that's like my fat shit to where it like even
it balances out.
Yeah, it balances out. And then I'll work out like 5 days a week.
Yeah, so if you're athletic enough, it probably don't make a difference.
Yeah. But yeah, if I'm doing that, it's like I've went through the stages over the years where I used to like weigh and track every macro and know exactly like, all right, 200 protein, 200 carbs, 65 grams of fat, and do that day in, day out, day in, day out. But no, I don't. But I know if I ever, like if it became a problem, like I'm in pretty good shape now, but if I wanted to like lose more fat specifically, usually that's kind of my problem. It's like I don't have a hard time gaining weight, but I have a hard time like with fat.
I'd be worried about the fact that there's a lot of studies that show that this preservative food is giving people cancer and shit. Talk to your doctor. I'm not a fucking pharmacist. This is a podcast talk. I gotta don't fucking take me down for saying medical stuff. But like, yeah, there's a lot of stuff that says that food is causing cancer, and
it probably is.
That shit's concerning. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I don't know. I'm organic shit is expensive too. It's like,
expensive as fuck.
If I was rich, yeah, I would just hire a chef and I would tell her I want to eat all organic, everything. But until then, I'm not buying organic shit. It costs twice as much, and
I'd be limiting how much I eat, and like if I don't, then I'm like having pizza between it. Like that's how I'll there's no moderation for me. I'm either gonna eat clean or I'm buying pizza. You know what I mean? And I'll like make that pizza last 2-3 days, and I'll like, you know what I mean? Because the leftovers are always good from like Domino's or something. Like you can never go wrong.
Yeah, I lack like the ability to fight temptation with shit like that.
Yeah, it's too good.
I'll tell my wife, and I don't even know what the point of me even like bitching about it is, because it's not like it's actually going to be reality. But I'll say to her, I'm the type of person that, let's say I see this episode and I'm thinking to myself, yo, you got a fucking big ass double chin. I'll go home if I was single and living, I have a family and shit, but I would want to go home and be like, all the fruit snacks in the trash can, all the chips in the trash can. The only thing that's going to be in this house is chicken, rice, broccoli. I'm about to get fucking ripped and shredded, blah, blah, blah. Like, I need that type of extreme to see it. It's hard for me to know that there's cookies in there. And my fat ass is like, there is cookies in there.
Yeah. Look, sugar is... it's super similar to cocaine for how it affects our brains, like the receptors that it lights up. So they're basic, and you got to look at it. It's sugar cane and cocaine. They grow in a very similar climate in South America. You know what I mean? Just like
no shit.
Yeah, it's like there's one cartel one. You feel me? And they put that shit in everything. Back in the day, Coca-Cola had cocaine in it instead of sugar cane. You know what I mean? Like it's Now they actually are the only company in the world that has the right to test cocaine for medical purposes. There's no like, I don't know, but they're the only company. They have like coke to this day. It's fun little facts. I don't know. I'm a little stoned, but yeah, that shit is super addictive. So like, it's like no different than having like a crackhead sitting there and you got crack and they're like, don't smoke it. Like, what? Fuck that. I'm fucking taking that shit. You know what I mean? Like, it should, like, we gotta get that sugar. We gotta get those carbs. Like, the fucking that sodium and shit.
Yeah, no, it's hard, but like I said, I have a good enough balance to where I know to supplement or to increase protein and have a shake or two. Like, I make shit taste pretty good too. So like,
Yeah, that's key.
you could unseason your fucking chicken breast, but it's like you don't have to go to that extreme. Like, you go to that extreme when you're like sub 8% body fat and you're about to get on stage in a thong and compete and shit like that. That's when you have to worry about, like, I'm not going to season my food. But for us, like the rest of the 99% of us, bro, you can go crazy with some salt, pepper, Mrs. Dash, put some barbecue sauce. And I always just think, like, what's the alternative? The alternative is getting fast food right now.
Yeah. Which I'll resort to quite often, especially now that I'm single. Like, sometimes I'm like, I can go and spend this money on food that I won't be able to finish. Maybe I'll eat the leftovers before they go bad. Spend the same money, get a good meal that I'm just gonna enjoy. Get some Arby's real quick. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, get some Wendy's, call it a day.
That's true. I never thought about this. My dad's single and I'm Italian, so he likes to cook these big feasts.
Yeah.
But him being single, like, he cooks this fucking huge tray of lasagna and it's like him.
Yeah.
It
So,
goes
like,
bad. Yeah. So
you
he
can't.
eats fast food a lot too.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird though, because if you hit like 3 people, you know what I mean, then it really does make more sense to just go buy the food because you're gonna eat it, and like it
Yeah.
would literally cost you like fucking 30-40 bucks to go all out and eat together.
Yep.
You know what I mean? But I'm spending like $7 to $10. I'm like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not that different if I went and bought the food. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
for
Like,
sure.
and I don't gotta cook it. You know what I mean? Like,
Convenience, yeah.
you get some Subway. You know what I mean? Like, and I always try to tell myself, like, I'm trying to eat healthy when I do it. You know what I mean? It's at Applebee's. It's not that bad. You know what I mean? Like, I try to like, but yeah, it's a bad habit.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh shit, it was fun, bro.
Hell yeah. Everyone watching, make sure you give the video a thumbs up. If you're still here right now, after this long, just comment real one, because you're a real one for sitting with us for this long.
Yeah, for real though. I appreciate it. We gotta do it again soon, bro.